of view, before we get going on the game, the fact that a player has arrived, 25 million, Nick, thereabouts, I think, for the new signing that they've made, does that sort of indicate, because there's been sort of whispers, could they move on again from Nuno? Obviously not. They're not going to allow him to be spending money or bringing players in if they're thinking of moving on from him. So does he sit a little bit more securely that the board are actually saying, we've heard your need for recruits, we've heard, we'll listen to what you want, who you want, and therefore he's a bit more confident that he can push this team and push it towards the end of the season?
Yeah, I think. Listen, they have to get results done, and I think the owners of the football club really believe that Nuno's the man, unless they wouldn't have appointed him. You know, they haven't had the results that they're supposed to have. So, he has a centre forward, but I can't understand why they've let the other centre forward go. They need as many forwards as they possibly can, because obviously Callum Wilson hasn't been getting through games. He's been taking them off, whether they've been winning or whether they've been losing. He hasn't been playing the full game. They need a centre forward who can come on and play 90 minutes.
I was going to say, Phil, I think West Ham signing a striker that, be honest, nobody's heard of, tells us absolutely nothing about the confidence or otherwise that the West Ham board have in Nuno Espirito Santo.
Well, I suppose it depends on whether it's his signing, doesn't it, really? I suppose that's the other thing. Who's making the signings? Mark Noble's the director of football, but is Nuno involved in that whole process? Rob Edwards has had a shave as well. I don't think he suits it, personally. Nuno is bearded. They're both stood in their various technical areas, and commentary coming your way then from the Molineux. It's West Ham United against Wolves, and here's Nick Godwin.
A former Wolves player, Terry Walton, has passed away, so there's going to be a moment's appreciation for him.
Years of Wolves between 1959 and 1968, playing on 242 occasions, the most times he represented any club in his career. Please join us in the moment of applause, which will start and end on the referee's whistle.
It's applause for former Wolves player Terry Walton, who's passed away in recent days. Our best wishes to his family and everyone who knew him at Wolves. The Wolves players wearing black armbands as they remove their training tops, and we are very soon to get underway in this colossally important Premier League fixture from a West Ham perspective in particular. For Wolves, they're all important. They haven't won and they've only got 3 points. But as Phil Parry set out earlier in our programme, if they can win today, and dare I say if they can win on Tuesday against Nottingham Forest, they'll be out of the bottom 3. And that is the sort of shot in the arm that West Ham have been looking for months and months and months. And despite a little recovery, or certainly a little bit more organisation when Nuno Espirito Santo took over, they've not been able to put a run of results together that's enabled them to lift themselves out of that bottom section of the Premier League. The opportunity in the next 4 days is there. Let's see how they get on. It'll be live here on BBC Radio London, as indeed will the game against Nottingham Forest on Tuesday evening on DAB Digital Radio. West Ham have got Alphonse Areola in goal, a back four of Kyle Walker-Peters, Max Kilman, Konstantinos Mavropanos and Ollie Skulls. In midfield, Sanguta Magassa, Freddie Potts and Matthias Fernandes, with Jared Bowen, Callum Wilson and Crescencio Somerville as the main strikers. Jose Sarr is in goal for Wolves, a back three of Santiago Bueno, Yerson Mosquera and Ladislav Krejci. In midfield, Jackson Tachua, Matthias Mane, João Gomez, John Arias and Hugo Bueno, with Hwang Hee-chan and Tolo Arodikade up front. Long ball forward for West Ham early on, looking for Callum Wilson. He jumps again, but he's beaten in the air. It's going to be collected by Magassa on that flank, and back to Mavropanos in the side today in the absence of Jean-Claire Todibo. I'll give you the benches for Wolves, for West Ham first of all, sorry. Hermansen, Julio, new signing Pablo Felipe, Rodriguez, Souček, Earthy, Kante, Gonan Bekis and Myers. As Bowen tries to turn this forward, it's brought under control by Santiago Bueno and back to the goalkeeper Sarr. And the bench for Wolves: Johnson, Doherty, Moller, Wolf, Andre Strand-Larsen. Has been given away for Wolves. Here is Somerville inside the penalty area. He's taken it to the byline, sets it back to the edge of the box. Little twinkle chain run by Potts. He goes down. There's a cross headed away from danger by Mosquera. West Ham all over Wolves in these opening exchanges. I haven't even done the full Wolves bench, but here's Potts again. Just spins away from his man and gets it wide to that left-hand side, and Ollie Scarles back into the middle of the field. This is Matías Fernandez. Hooks it wide to Walker-Peters. It's a slightly misjudged pass. Walker-Peters couldn't get hold of it. Hugo Bueno could, and it's going to be tidied up by Wolves, who start that all themselves. The rest of the bench: Andre Strand-Larsen, Chirewa, Hervé Lopez and Enzo Gonzalez. We've played for a minute and a half, and Wolves doing their level best to shoot themselves in the foot early on. Neil McDonald.
Yeah, West Ham have dictated the pace, which I expected them to do. I'm quite surprised Wolves haven't come after them, so they're going to have plenty of time on the ball. Just got to pick the pass, got to get into the final third, got to really make that the best pass they've ever made out of the cross. So they're going to get plenty of the ball, because Wolves are just defending their own half, which I'm very, very surprised at.
Yeah, they've not entered West Ham territory yet, I think it's fair to say, since the kick-off.
So West Ham have just got to keep on moving the ball, find the spare man further forward, and then exploit the space when it's there, because it looks as though there's going to be lots of space for them to play. Just got to get that pass off.
Wilson to Fernandez, just takes a heavy touch, and João Gomez nips in and wins it back for Wolverhampton Wanderers, who have not won all season. Their last Premier League win was against Leicester at home in April. They've had precious little to celebrate so far in this Premier League season. Only the Bolton Wanderers team of 1902-03 has done worse at the start of a top-flight season. Jared Bowen has given that away, and Hwang bursts over the halfway line now. Oradacade's with him. Hwang's run quite a long way, still going. Hwang, and he's going to play it forward, cut out on the edge of his own penalty area by Konstantinos Mavropanos. It looked as though West Ham were going to melt away, and that's given them some confidence.
They just backed off, didn't they?
Mane driving at the edge of the West Ham box, challenged by Magassa. No foul, says the referee. West Ham bringing this forward rather carefully. They look as though they were running things earlier on, and then that just one undercut pass.
Yeah, just one bad pass, that's all it was. A slack pass, and then that'll get the crowd going and obviously put Wolves on the front foot, but he ran too far there without being engaged. West Ham can't back off, first man to engage and then try and win the ball back, and then they've got a chance to counter-attack themselves, or the transition, as people call it now.
Yes. Kreski rolls this forward. Nice little spin by Matías Mane, and he's moving forward for Wolves. Hwang, left-hand side, takes it to the byline. He's going to draw this in low. It's open, it's an own goal! Wolves have scored! I think it's gone in off Scarles. He was trying to tidy up. There were Wolves players pouring forward, and he's diverted it past Areola. And Wolverhampton Wanderers, who have not won all season, lead West Ham by a goal to nil.
Wow, backing off and letting just somebody run through. Poor defending to start off with the midfield, overcommitted. Everybody's on the back foot. So it's not the best start for West Ham. Wow. That's the first time they've been into West Ham's final third, and they've actually been clinical in front of goal for the first time.
Huge celebration. We've not had the chance to see it again. I think Scarles got the final touch. He couldn't do much about it. Here we are. No, I think actually Arias got the last touch.
Yeah, driving down the middle.
Yeah, he got just in front of the defender. Let's get the chance to see it.
A 1v1 situation down the width, didn't deal with the width, crossed the ball in the box, and somebody's tapping it in on a 6-yard box, a free shot. That can't happen.
Long ball forward for West Ham, who are trailing here against Wolves on BBC Radio London. Here's Walker-Peters, gets this back and drives down the right-hand side, low cross, can't find Bowen, scrambled away by Kreski. Picked up by Walker-Peters. I understand now why Scarles looks so crestfallen, because he didn't pick up the man sprinting into the far post to touch it home.
Yeah, but that was a drive from midfield as well into the box, so You know, everybody has to look at themselves to a certain extent. You know, quite a decent start in possession, and then one silly pass which puts Wolves on the front foot, and then they take advantage. Probably the first time they've scored the first goal for quite a while, and being clinical in front of goal, in front of their own fans for a long time.
It's the 8th goal they've scored at home this season.
Yeah, it's not many, is it?
And they've.
You can sense. So listen to the crowd now. I think the West Ham supporters who've taken the whole allocation are just as shocked as what we are, to be fair.
Collected on the halfway line by Arakadare, and they do seem a bit stunned, don't they? Tachua crosses the halfway line, tries to feed it down the channel.
West Ham they've got to hold their nerve. They've got to keep on passing through the levels, through the lanes if they possibly can, and they've got to stay nice and strong. Don't lose their emotions where there's silly tackles and silly free kicks. Work their way back into the game, because they started all right. That's the first time West Ham got into the box. Wolves got into the box, and they've been absolutely clinical. So still plenty time to get back into it, that's for sure.
Here come West Ham again, and here's Somerville into the penalty area, tries to find Wilson, but the flag goes up. The referee allows the game to continue though, and Mane crosses halfway. Whenever they do move over the halfway line, the Wolves fans really get behind their team. It's been tidied up by Walker Peters back to Areola away to our left.
Thought Somerville should have had a shot there instead of trying to play Callum Wilson in there. Well worth a go. As soon as you come inside the box, he moved inside lovely, but tried to play a slide pass instead of a shot. Have a shot.
Yeah, it has been confirmed as a John Arias goal rather than the defender Skulls, who switched off and didn't track the one, although, as you know, Neil's been saying, it's the cause of the goal is very much further up the pitch, as that's another offside flag up against Skulls at the other end. So it's a free kick to Wolves.
There's lots of giving the ball away, obviously not tracking your runners, stopping the cross coming inside the box. So one mistake after the other normally ends in the end in the back of the net. Certainly in the Premiership, if you make 3 mistakes or 3 errors, it's in the back of the net normally, and that's what's happened.
Just trying to get our telly to work, Neil, but it's it's funny, it's the only one that isn't working. Everyone else
just
is
trying to catch somebody's eye, see if they can come and fix it.
We've just got a lovely picture of a very empty Molineux, which is it's very picturesque. It does us absolutely no good whatsoever. In comes Walker Peters with this challenge on the touchline, out for a throw in. I've pushed all the buttons as well, Neil, and I've turned it on and off again, so I'm really flat out of ideas.
If you can't fix it, we've got no chance.
Yeah, my technical knowledge has been exhausted. I may give it a bit of a smack. That might.
How about battling on the top?
Then they'll come and ask if they can fix it for us.
But he has a danger long throw in.
Yeah,
can the defender long throw in now? Can they win that first contact?
Mosquera is going to hurl this into the box, and a West Ham player goes down the edge of the 6-yard area. Yeah. It's going to be a free kick, which Areola takes quickly. Gives it to Potts, who shifts the ball over the halfway line quickly, wide to Somerville on that left-hand side. He's going to get challenged, and challenged well by the goal scorer John Arias. How to play for a throw-in on that far side of the field.
It's amazing in this situation. The first goal is vital. Obviously Wolves have got it now. As I said to you before, West Ham have got to hold their nerve. It's nice to see them getting forward. So the response has been decent, to be fair, since they conceded the goal, but it was a poor goal to concede.
Especially given the fact that they dominated for most of the opening minutes of the game. They really kind of put Wolves on the back foot, but the home team countered and scored. Scar's trying to thread this ball forward. It's a nice turn by Arakadare, and he's moved over the halfway line, and all of a sudden the old gold shirts flood forward. Arakadare's held this up. It's been given to Gomez, and wide to that far side of the field, and Tachua. Mosquera has it at the back for Wolves, who since the goal have looked far more confident. By all accounts, they played well at Manchester United.
Yes, they did.
And at Liverpool.
Yeah.
Drawing at Old Trafford and being defeated by 2-1
But
at Anfield.
when you're an opposition team coming against a team that is under pressure, you apply pressure as much as you possibly can, because that's what they do. Apply pressure with pressure, and then you crack, and then you try and take advantage of when they make the mistake or the bad pass. It hasn't started that way.
Arakadare chasing this down the right, but guided back to Areola. It is Wolves 1, West Ham 0 here on BBC Radio London. And Walker-Peters tries to move over the halfway line, but finds his route towards goal cut off, so he switches it from right to left, and here's Matheus Fernandes, who gives it back to Walker-Peters, who's got some space to run into on this right side. Here's Jared Bowen, whose last meaningful contribution was to give the possession to Wolves, and the ball ended up in the back of the net. Kilman, who used to play his football here at Molineux, of course, to great acclaim, into Potts, turns away and makes his way towards the edge of the penalty area. Somerville does well to hold this up, and can he win a throw-in? No, he can't. It goes out of play off Somerville, and it'll be a throw-in on that far side. Something else that may warm the hearts of West Ham fans at this stage: Wolves have kept one clean sheet so far this season.
They can be got at. Obviously, listen, they've got something to protect for the first time in quite a while, and they'll just have a lower block, middle block that won't go after West Ham. So West Ham have got to move that ball on. They've got to find a spare man further forward. They've got to try and make 2v1s that they possibly can, and then obviously they've got to deliver inside the box. So the midfield players who are playing deep have got to drive into the box. The wide players have got to get into the far post, and certainly the forward thinking players have got to be on the move inside the box to try and get back into it.
I beg your pardon. Wolves have had no clean sheets so far this season. West Ham have had one. I got my statistics in a muddle, but neither of them. They're going to be goals.
That's why they're both in the bottom three. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Here come West Ham again, trailing 1-0. Fernandes switches it left to right. Can Bowen keep it in play? He's hooked the ball into the feet of Hugo Bueno. It's a corner.
So here we go. If we can't break down 11 players, this is a great chance for West Ham. So the delivery has to be really good. Do you want to get your head on it? Do you want to score from a corner? Do you want to get back into it? Come on. First contact is vitally important. Everybody back from Wolves, which I expect. Not that much space. We'll put the ball in the area. Let's have a competition. See who really wants to head this ball towards the goal, and then be on the move. That gives you a chance. But it has to be a good ball. Please miss the first man out.
Yeah, well, that's so many get headed away at the near post, don't they? Here's Scarles. It's a decent delivery, pushed away by Sarr under some pressure.
Super ball in. Ask the questions.
Yeah. Put it in the right area.
Yeah, that's all you can do. Ask the questions, put it in the right area, and hopefully it drops on one of the West Ham players. But that was a great ball in.
West Ham have the ball again on the far side, the left. Here's Somerville. Moves infield, wants to perhaps pick out Fernandes on that left-hand side, back to Somerville. Wolves defending their lead very deep, as you can imagine. Unaccustomed to being in this position.
See, for me, the two fullbacks need to be pushed on a little bit further, especially when Wolves are allowing them to have the space. So then it becomes a 2v1, and you've got width. If you can't go down one side, then you try and switch it through, either through the centre forward to set back, and then everybody's running, or come across the back or the midfield, and then it's a 2v1 on the switch.
It's 1-0 to Wolves here on BBC Radio London. Earlier we finished Aston Villa 3, Nottingham Forest 1, which is good news for West Ham. They play Nottingham Forest on Tuesday evening. Live commentary on DAB Digital Radio. Here is Somerville and Bowen and Fernandes. He's going to try and get Somerville away, and there's a huge collision on the edge of the 6-yard box, and none of the West Ham players look particularly convinced it's a penalty, but there are two players lying injured. Santiago Bueno and Crescencio Somerville are both down.
We can't see the replay, but that was a really good run, pass and move, and then get in behind. It might have been a little bit of a pullback, I'm not 100% sure. Sure, VAR will be having a look at that, but that was much more positive. Really interlink play in around the box, and make the forward run, make the forward pass, which is really good. Trying to get in behind, and we'll see whether anything comes up.
I've really broken the telly now.
I know, you pulled every plug out.
Yeah, no, that's probably beyond repair now. Meanwhile, Look at that. They can't even see the nice picture of an empty Molineux. So if VAR checking it, we can't see it. But Somerville and Santiago Bueno are still down. Just wondering if we can reach over, and it doesn't look like there's any VAR graphics or any of that business.
No.
So,
I've just tried to pinch a view of somebody else.
Go on. What have we got?
That might have been a 50-50 challenge. That he got his arm right across Somerville. That might.
Mosquera.
Interesting.
Well, we haven't heard anything. Now the game hasn't restarted yet, so I mean VAR could stick their oar in at any time. Very kind of our colleague to. Let's have a look at that. Our monitor now says waiting for network. Not quite sure
brilliant.
what that means. Oh, look at this. Our colleagues from Independent Radio have very generously shared their screen with us. You get the chance to see that challenge again.
Yeah.
Is it just clumsy?
Yeah, I think that's just from the fall with his left ankle. The arm was across his chest and he was in behind, so it's interesting to see how the 17th official sees that at Stockley Park, if that's where it is.
Yeah, no, they don't look as though they're looking at this in any way censorious fashion. But Somerville is sitting up. And
yeah, I think he'll be all right. The Wolves defender got smashed by his own goalkeeper there, so
Jose Sar's a big unit, isn't he? If he crashes into you. Well, I think Somerville's being walked round the pitch now and will presumably come back on.
He'll be fine.
But they're doing the checks on Santiago Bueno.
Here we go again.
Going to get the chance to see this again.
This is the goal.
Oh, this is the goal as they
showing the goal again. So it's a 1v1 situation.
Juan gets
Don't allow the cross in, and then nobody tracking them right down the middle. Wow.
No, but he just invited him to step into the box and score. John Arias. But yeah,
but West Ham need more of that. I think it's been a good response.
Yeah,
yes.
they've not buckled, have they?
No, they haven't. They're still trying to play through, and that's the first time they've tried to get in behind, and there might have been a penalty, but it doesn't look as though it is.
None of the West Ham players went to the ref, which is always a good indicator with these things. If the players start making their case to the referee very forcefully, then something's gone very badly wrong. Doesn't look as though any of those sorts of things are happening.
No, it's been cleared. It was close though. It was nice to see somebody running in behind in the space in the box, that's for sure. And to play the pass, have the confidence to play the pass.
Game's back underway. It looks as though both Somerville and Santiago Bueno are able to return to the field of play. All is well, and we've had 19 minutes here on the home of London football. This is BBC Radio London. Wolves, who have not won all season, lead 1-0 thanks to John Arias' goal.
I think both the players can come on now.
We're back to 11 against 11.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can sense that Wolves fans aren't quite sure what to do. Yet again, Hugo Bueno's been allowed to run a very long way here before he's challenged. Comes out to that far side of the field, and a cross is lifted in, and it's going to be headed behind by Kyle Walker-Peters. For the first corner of the game to Wolves.
West Ham just look nervous every time Wolves come forward, don't they? They're backing off instead of engaging. They're allowing Wolves to cross the ball, which is a danger really, because West Ham have conceded a fair few balls into the box. But can they defend this corner now, an in-swinger?
Nightmare scenario here for West Ham as they find themselves 2-0 down. Here is the corner from Huang towards the far post, headed away by Mavropanos. It's going to come out to the edge of the box. So a chance for Fernandez to race out and counter. No, not quite.
Good defending from the corner. Got that first contact, then and they won the second on the edge of the box to move it out. Now they've got to defend the second phase.
Long ball forward, one in the air by Arakadare, but he can't find another Wolves shirt, and Scarles will lift it towards the halfway line. Mosquera brings it down.
It's got to be a little bit better service into the front there, even though it was a little bit high. Still got to pick the man out because they're available. West Ham players are available to receive that ball from deep.
Collected by Potts on the halfway line for West Ham, who plays a pass, and he was caught, but Scarles has managed to hold it up, and he gives it to Somerville on that left-hand side. Scarles has run beyond him. Somerville is being boxed in by Mosquera, takes it to the byline, gets in a cross, and that's deflected off Mosquera and through to Jose Sarr. Yeah, you can tell the Wolves fans aren't quite sure what to do, really.
No, well, they've never been in this situation before, probably at home, leading, they're normally chasing.
Do they go for the second? Do they hang on to what they've got?
Like I said to you before, you know, they've got to go for the second. They've got to go for the second one because they hardly keep clean sheets anyway. So hopefully, fingers crossed, West Ham can score. But if they get the second one, it's going to be very, very difficult to get back into it.
You know, Espirito Santo has won both of his games against Wolves since leaving Molineux. Here's Bowen. Potts has got to keep this alive, and he does. Finds Scarles. There was a appeal for a foul against West Ham, but not given. Scarles has it again on the left into Somerville. Holds it up, gives it back to Scarles. Somerville turns away and moves infield. Wolves have contracted.
Yeah, just a little bit static. Got to be on the move. Still got to try and receive the ball instead of waiting for the ball coming in.
Magassa with a high ball that's it's been lost by Sarr and then gathered again.
Wow, that still shows they're still nervous to a certain extent every time the ball comes into the Wolves penalty area. The goalkeeper got away with that one, to be fair.
Long clearance downfield by Jose Sarr. Arakadare goes down under a challenge, no foul.
It's going to be a handful.
It's a big unit, isn't he?
Yeah.
Tolu Arakadare.
Strength. He's certainly an old-fashioned target man, that's for sure.
This time Hwang with a good challenge on the halfway line, finds Arakadare, and they're slipping through the gears here. Wolves now. Arias, the goal scorer, wide to Chachua on the right-hand side. Scarles dispossesses him.
Good defending. I've seen a vast improvement in him, by the way. Yeah, there's a couple of games early on the season where he looked a little bit out of depth, got took off early, was at fault for a few goals. He's come on a treat the last couple of games I've seen him. I'm really pleased that he's playing and trying to showcase what he's all about, which is excellent.
Scarles again with the ball down the left.
That's
Callum Wilson has been found. He's challenging Santiago Bueno, and he's done well to hold the ball up and the defender off there.
That was an excellent pass. Really good hold-up play from Wilson as well.
Somerville tries to move infield from his left-sided berth. He's gone past two defenders and a third. Then he gets caught by João Gomez. It's a free kick to West Ham, 30 yards from goal, to the left of centre.
Thankfully he looks sharp. He looks right at it, Somerville, which is excellent. He's the one that's going to unlock everything at the moment. Trying to pass through, run through, dribble through.
Jarrod Bowen hasn't had his most constructive game in a West Ham shirt so far today, I think it's fair to say.
He hasn't had much of the ball really, and when he has had it, he's given the ball away, hasn't he? So
halfway through the first.
He'll come into it. He will come into it. Give him half a chance. Hopefully he can be really clinical in front of goal, which he has done. You know, still the top scorer with 6. It's probably in the league, but yeah, get him the chances if he can.
Potts and Scarles over this. Potts,
too far.
he's lifted that over everybody. You can see the disappointment in the young man's face. He's run his fingers down his features. And
sometimes that's a little bit too careful, just trying to help it in there. Needs a little bit of pace, especially with it being inside more so than being outside the box. You've got to hit that with pace, and then anybody can get the touch and the goalkeeper will be struggling. Just try to play it too nice there and just overhit it, to be fair to him.
Sarr is in no hurry to take this goal kick. In fact, the referee, who is today Mr. Peter Banks, says you've got to get on with this. And he lifts it over the halfway line. Hwang and Walker-Peters with it, and I think Hwang has just caught Walker-Peters there in the face. He's gone down clutching his face, the former Southampton and Tottenham man.
He'll take that throw in from there. But yeah, Wolves will not be in any hurry to take any free kicks, throw-ins, corners, goal kicks. They'll take the time trying to get that clock down.
They don't want West Ham to build up any sort of momentum. They were building momentum just before the goal went in. It's a foul on Potts on the halfway line by Arias. And a free kick to West Ham. which is taken short to Kilman.
Now they've got to move the ball quicker.
Magassa's dropped into the back four to get this out wide to Walker-Peters, and they're dallying a little bit on the halfway line, and then
Magassa's just got to move it a little bit quicker.
Overcooked that, tries to release Bowen on that side, but it's cleared by Kreschke. Walker-Peters has tried to win this back. That's going to go out of play for a throw into Wolves.
Good pressing.
Well, it's difficult when you're in this situation. Both of these sides come into this game in very little form. In fact, before the game against Liverpool, Wolves had only managed 2 goals all season in the second half of games. They've scored twice in the second half since then, once against Liverpool and once against Arsenal.
It's amazing though, just a couple of decent performances, a little bit of encouragement.
They've been better, haven't they? You're right.
Yeah, they have.
When I say they've been out of form, they've actually played rather creditably. That's a really needless foul given away by Freddie Potts, who then gives the referee a piece of his mind. The free kick is taken quickly, and Tachua's going to keep it in play by the corner flag, and then he can't stop it going out for a goal kick.
Thank goodness for that.
Well, again, they would but even too busy complaining, weren't they?
But even that, Nick, that's a little bit of an inexperience on the giving the free kick away. You know what I mean? No need to give a foul away there. Just keep goal side. And then they took the quick one. Luckily, it went out of play.
Goal kick is played short to Mavropanos, in for Todibo today, who's injured. It's going to break to Potts on this right-hand side. He's lifted it forward. Not sure Callum Wilson's going to get on the end of that ball. He's not the quickest. He never was, but he isn't now.
Down into the channel instead of towards the goal.
You could almost
Callum Wilson was looking for feet there, but he actually adjusted his run because he knew it was going over the top. It was just a little bit too inside. It needs to be a little bit further down in the channel to give him a chance.
It's gone off Walker-Peters for another throw into Wolves on this near side, and Wolves are doing a pretty good job of restricting West Ham's ability to get any kind of anything going really in the final third.
They're letting West Ham have the ball in front of them. They're not trying to allow them to have the space in behind, and then when they get a chance to come forward, then they come forward. But
there they go again down the left. Hugo Bueno is making some inroads, sends a cross in that's fired away by Mavropanos, and then Mane goes down. It's a penalty to Wolves. Another big chance for the home side to extend their lead. The cross comes in from the left-hand side, and the half clearance by Mavropanos has West Ham in trouble, and then Matthias Mane gets caught, and the referee was well positioned, gives the penalty.
Goes from bad to worse. Again, one cross, he didn't clear it, come off his thigh, then the fishing leg comes out. Just get close and force it backwards and sideways, and he gives the penalty away. They're checking it, but I think it looked a clear penalty from here.
So Magassa with the foul, trying to deal with the mess that Mavropanos left as it came off his thigh. The referee was pretty close, and he gave the free kick, gave the penalty straight away. And Hwang Hee-chan has the chance to put Wolves 2-0 up with less than half an hour played at Molineux. They are going to check it.
I don't think he's going to go across. I think he's made the decision. It looked like a penalty to me. But again, a free cross off his... Yeah, just caught him. Leg up. My goodness me.
Well, they really won't know what to do with themselves inside this ground if this goes in. Wolves have not won since April.
Yeah, he just caught him on the foot. Just watching the replay again, just caught him. Wow, goes from bad to worse if they score this, by the way.
Well, it's all down to Alphonse Areola now. West Ham's position will go from bad to absolutely dire in the next 10 seconds unless Alphonse Areola could do something. This penalty is going to be taken. Hwang Hee-chan with the chance to double Wolverhampton Wanderers' advantage and really give Nuno a massive headache. Here goes Hwang, he scores down the middle! Doubles the lead! Puts Wolves into dreamland! They have not won a Premier League game since last season, but Hwang
Yeah, poor defending. As I said, we've got. When you're a fullback, and I'm certainly not criticising Walker Peters, but his job is to stop the ball coming in the box. His job is to get a little bit tighter. His job is to make sure that ball doesn't go in the box. When it does, then you're expecting your centre half to clear it. Come on, move your feet. Take it down on your chest. Clear it with your right foot or your left foot, not on your thigh. And then that ball's just hanging in the air. Whoever gets the first touch is going to be in big trouble if you're putting your foot out. And Magassa put his foot out and a penalty, 2-0 down. My goodness me. Not good.
I cannot imagine this going any worse for West Ham. I suppose they could have had somebody sent off or badly injured. But given the way that West Ham started the game and the subsequent deterioration and the errors that have led to the 2 goals, this is currently an absolute horror show. And Hwang Hee-chan, who scored the second goal, has it on the halfway line.
You're looking for a little bit of leadership. You're looking for somebody, even after they scored the second goal, they didn't all get together saying, come on, what we're going to do about this, how we're going to get back into it. Nothing. They just walked up to the halfway line.
We're going to win the league, sing the Wolves fans.
Wow.
They're enjoying their freezing cold Saturday afternoon.
Well, the West Ham supporters aren't enjoying it, that's for sure.
Oh,
They're not
look
even,
at them over there.
They've all got their hands in their pockets there. They must be freezing cold and not very happy.
Long journey.
At all.
No, it's been a miserable half an hour or so for West Ham. Arias has put that out of play. It's a throw-in on the near side. And well, it's on days like this you find out who your colleagues are, don't you, really? Because somebody needs to take charge of this game from a West Ham perspective.
And then you make a pass, or you're on the ball and you put your hands up. That for me is come on, stop hiding. Who wants the ball? Who's going to try and take control? Who's going to show a little bit of fight? Come on, that's what I'm looking for now. Or you're going to hide and you don't want the ball and you're going to let Wolves dictate the pace.
Yeah, these are the moments, I'm afraid.
Now, does he change the system? Does he even actually change the personnel? Does he go to a back 3? Does he try and change something to get back into it and to upset Wolves?
Well, he has to do something.
So there's lots of things that he'd be sitting on the bench by going, my goodness me, what do we do? Do we go 3? Do we go 5 in midfield? Do we go 2 up top? Do we leave it as it is? Do we hold our nerve? But you're 2-0 down, you've got to do something.
Jose Sarr with his free kick for Wolves on the halfway line. They pushed everybody forward. Clip this to the edge of the West Ham penalty area. So Arakadara, who tries to help this on, but he can't get hold of it, and then West Ham are breaking forward, and there's a foul on Somerville just inside their own half of the field. Wolves have not won a Premier League game this season, and you know, we arrived here today talking about the gilt-edged opportunity West Ham have.
These games are never easy, whether they've won one game, non-games. These games are always difficult, but you've got to have a little bit of personality. You've got to try and exert a little bit of pressure on the opposition, and they haven't actually. For the first 2 minutes today, I thought, oh my goodness me, they've started off really well, and then bang, 2-0 down. It's amazing.
2, West Ham 0. If you're a West Ham fan and you just couldn't bear to listen to the first half hour, it's all gone a bit wrong, but here come West Ham. Bowen feeds Wilson, edge of the penalty area. Is the fight back underway? Fernandez takes this to the byline, keeps it in play, but can't find another claret shirt. That's the first opening West Ham have had, and you have to say West Ham's best moments have come when Wolves have given it away.
Somerville was through, tried to slide past. Wilson was through. Why not have a shot? I know it's tight, but have a shot.
They've not had a shot so
far.
They
haven't. And Wolves have only had 2 chances, by the way, and they put the ball in the back of the net.
Absolutely.
One through a penalty. One through nobody picking somebody who's made the run into the 6-yard box.
Well, if West Ham can't turn this around, it could be one of the great Hammers away days. That opportunity is still there for West Ham. I would suggest to you, Neil, that is this a football cliche, but is the next goal in this game absolutely critical?
The first,
almost certainly decisive.
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt. If they can get the next goal, you'll see the whole place change again. They'll be really nervous. They'll be holding their breath. that'll put West Ham on the front foot. They've just got to make sure they give themselves a chance to get back into the game and don't give anything away.
Just giving it away to Mane, who breaks over the halfway line. Aradakare's ahead of him, but West Ham have got good numbers back to block the counter-attack through the middle of the field. But again, it was Walker-Peters. West Ham are just careless in possession. Tatua goes round his man on the outside. Another low cross coming in, blocked behind by Mavropanos. It's a corner to Wolves, who lead 2-0.
Slightly disappointed with the 1v1 defending when they're in that situation, when Wolves are getting into the final third. Wolves seem to be just winning that little bit of a battle, individual battle at the moment. Wolves had 4 people in the box there and they've had a drop, but it was good defending from Kilman. Kilman cleared it. Now they've got to clear the corner. Everybody back. Thought they might actually left one up. Just try to force Wolves to just be careful.
They heard us talking about the next goal, Neil. That's what that is. They said, "Oh, do you know what?
My goodness me!"
You know, they're talking about the next one. If it's 3, as Bueno sends this corner in, headed away by Kilman, comes out to João Gomez on the corner of the penalty area. He's going to clip this into the box. Headed, scrambled away by Areola. That was Arakadare's free header, and somehow the goalkeeper has palmed that over the bar for another corner, and it's still only 2-0.
Free header in the box, and what to say. If he's just said to these teammates, the West Ham teammates, there we go, I've kept it down to 2, now come on, let's have a reaction. It should have been 3-0 there. That was a great header, great ball in it, but again, too easy to cross the ball into West Ham's penalty box.
Here's another corner, sent high towards the edge of the 6-yard box. It runs loose and through to Areola again. 3-0 would not embarrass Wolves.
No, it wouldn't have been, and it's I'm a little bit lost for words, to be fair.
It's extraordinary. It's absolutely remarkable the way this has gone. I think West Ham fans, even in their darkest moments, when they got out of the house this morning, early on while it was still dark, defrosted the car, charged up the motorway, even in their least optimistic moments, did they think they were going to be 2-0 down and hanging on to 2-0?
Oh, hanging on.
7 minutes the first half to go.
And if it wasn't for the goalkeeper making an absolute brilliant save with his left foot there, by the way. My goodness me, your free header in the box again, no. Oh, what a kick away from his left foot, by the way.
He's just kind of, because he was going the other way and he changed direction, and he just kind of spread-eagled himself, and that left foot has just hooked it over the bar. Here's another free kick for Wolves, headed away by Mavropanos, drops to Hwang, edge of the box. It'll turn away from his man by Arakadare. It's run loose on the edge of the box, and it'll be cleared by Walker-Peters. And we talked about the next goal being so significant. At the moment, the next goal,
Wolves are going to get the next one, that's for sure.
Is looking like it will be one in old goal.
You know, from that one, when the ball come in the box, they actually headed it away, but they're not winning the knockdowns. They're not on the move. They're standing watching. You know, I'm the first to try and be, you know, constructive with all my comments, but I just can't catch my breath with this performance at the moment.
It has been very disappointing. We were in the middle of talking about West Ham's route back into the game. If they can get the next goal, the doubt will start to spread around.
I still think it will, Nick. I still think it will, but my goodness me, every time Wolves come forward now, I'm holding my breath.
Yeah, it's a very difficult situation for those West Ham supporters on the far side. But I suppose, as I said, I'm trying to be positive. 1-0 or 2-0 to Wolves. West Ham still need to score, and if they do, they'll be in the ascendancy, and then all kinds of things are possible, because Wolves could collapse like a pack of cards in the event if West Ham can create the right environment. But they're a long way from doing so at the moment.
And it'll change Nuno's team talk at half-time if they can get the goal just before half-time.
Skulls down the left, haven't really created much so far. That pass forward is cut out easily by João Gomez. The trouble is, Wolves still look threatening when they come forward, and Areola has saved somehow there from Arakadare when it really looked for all the world as though it was going to be 3-0.
It's a lonely place for a manager. I'm just watching Nuno on the touchline there. He's stand by himself. He's thinking, my goodness me, how do I get back in this? He's got to try and find it. He's got to try and find an answer how they do actually get back into it, whether it's personnel, whether it's system change. Listen, he still believes in the players. He still believes in the players, thinking that this was the best team to pick, which is why he picked the team.
Hugo Bueno coming forward down the left. for Wolves, who sent the cross in earlier on. He's played the ball in for Mane, who's got some space on the edge of the box. Shoots and scores! It's 3-0! This is absolutely unbelievable! Matthias Mane given the freedom of Wolverhampton on the edge of the West Ham penalty area, and he's rifled it into the bottom corner. Areola beaten, and the most astonishing scoreline as we head to half-time. In this game that West Ham simply have to win. It's Wolves 3, West Ham 0.
You give people a space and you back off and you don't engage and you invite them to shoot, they will shoot. That's in the back of the net. For me, that's game over already. It's amazing, isn't it? 41 minutes and we're talking about trying to get that goal. That's 3 poor situations to defend. They're not defending very, very well at all.
Well, I mean, they've got to win this game, Neil. And it's 3-0 to a team who haven't won since April.
I know. Well, that makes it even worse, doesn't it? That makes it even worse. But listen, you have to defend where you like. You have to put your body on the line. You have to try and force the ball away from the goal. The 3 goals that they've scored, they haven't done that. Just invite the ball into the box. Come on, you've got to engage. You've got to win your little individual battle, and nobody's won that individual battle at the moment, and that's why they're 3-0 down.
Penny for the thoughts of Nuno Espirito Santo against his former employers. He looks very, very alone out there. But these players have not performed as he would have wanted on this huge stage, in this big occasion. And to think, where are we? 42 and a half minutes into this game. 50 minutes ago, Macca, we were talking about West Ham maybe getting a win today, then giving Nottingham Forest a real game on Tuesday, and potentially being out of the bottom 3 by Wednesday morning.
Wow, we've got no chance of that if they don't come up with the goods in the second half, and Nuno comes up with a master plan for the second half.
I understand why a bit earlier Macca just turned and said, "I'm a bit lost for." Oh, there could be a chance for Wilson here, and he's gone round the goalkeeper quite wide. He's still going across the face of goal. It goes, and it's lifted away by João Gomez. Half a sniff for West Ham.
When you're down, it just doesn't work, does it? I think really good. Trying to play the ball in for Bono, who's coming in there, but the Wolves defender got in the way. I'm not going to say it's not fallen for West Ham. They've got to earn the right, and they're not earning the right at the moment.
The former West Ham assistant manager Neil McDonough with us as Somerville scrambles his way into the penalty area. I mean, we're going to have to pick the bones out of this at half-time. Where do you start? After 4 minutes of quite good play by West Ham at the beginning, let's remember that. Opening minutes of the game were quite good from a Hammers perspective. Since then, it has derailed in the most spectacular fashion.
You mentioned about the supporters getting out, travelling up, freezing cold, and then the first couple of minutes they must have thought, oh my goodness me, the boys are right at it, by the way. And then they look at the clock and 43 minutes, 44 minutes, and they're 3-0 down.
Yeah.
Wow.
Incredible. Wilson tries to get past his man, but it's slammed away by Santiago Bueno. And out for a throw-in on this near side, quickly taken by Kyle Walker-Peters. We're in the last minute of the first 45. Mavropanos striding towards halfway.
They've had 4 chances, Wolves. 4 chances or 4 opportunities. They've scored 3 goals.
Could easily be 4-0.
West Ham have had absolutely nothing in a game that they have to win, as we talked about.
Yeah.
Is that too much pressure? Well, they'll have to deal with the pressure in the Premiership.
These are the games.
International footballers, by the way, as well.
Yeah, these are the games you have to win. If you want to get out of the bottom 3, beat the teams around you.
Yeah, it's vitally important that you don't lose ground. Given a half a sniff with Nottingham Forest getting beat earlier on, because they would have been watching the game on the telly in the changing room without a shadow of a doubt. Thinking is, we've got half a chance here for a win today.
Yep,
we'll beat Forest, we'll be out the bottom 3. That looks miles away at the minute.
7 minutes to add on at the end of this first half because of the injury. I didn't think it was that long an injury to
no, not at all.
Somerville and the Wolves player, but we're going to have another 7 minutes. And the Wolves fans initially sounded a bit put out, and then they thought,
they want another one.
We can go and score another goal.
Yeah.
What an inexplicable 45 minutes of football here on BBC Radio London.
It's a disaster, absolutely disaster. You set the game plan out, you know where the weaknesses are of Wolves, and then bang, 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 3-0 down. Poor defending, really.
Mane on the left. I mean, they just said to him, go on, then shoot, didn't they?
Yeah, just go and shoot. I'll tell you what,
and he did.
Just go and cross the ball in the box.
Yeah.
I'll let you cross the ball in the box, no problem at all. And really, there should be 4-0 down, apart from the goalkeeper making a brilliant save.
Here's Hwang Hee-chan for Wolves in the final third of the field. Out wide it goes to Hugo Bueno in a crossing position. Walker-Peters sticking to him. Arias, who got the scoring underway 4 minutes into the contest. Back it goes to Santiago Bueno on the halfway line. We're nowhere near half time, by the way. We're playing the second of 7 added minutes. João Gomez is being tracked all the way by Fernandes.
Too much on the ball. The first man's closing down, yes, but the second man's 10 yards behind. So they've just retreated a touch. They're probably still in shock, to be fair.
It would not surprise. I think Nuno Espirito Santo may well be in shock. I'm absolutely convinced that those West Ham supporters on the far side must be in shock.
He's paid the big bucks to try and find a solution.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right from the start, first of all, by having a game plan, which, okay.
For about 4 minutes they did.
But then when you're down, you have to try and find a solution. What is it? Change it, like I said to you before, change your system, change your personnel. You've got to do something. The 3-0 down.
3-0 to Wolves.
Against a team who haven't won.
Yeah.
We've only got 3 points.
Wolves' form this season has been the worst. Oh, it's a poor back header by Mavropanos, but it goes back to Areola. For a second I wondered if Aracadaro might have nipped in, but he didn't. Matheus Mane was also close to it. Wolves' record so far this season at home: drawn 1, lost 8, goals for 7, goals away 23. That goals for column has gone from 7 to 10 in this 45 minutes of football. Away from home, almost as bad. No wins, 2 draws, 8 losses, 4 goals scored, 17 goals against.
Well, you could say West Ham's home form and away form is very similar to, or very alike to what Wolves are. My goodness me.
At least up to today, they'd won 3 games to Wolves 0, but you can't argue with Wolves being 3-0 up at this point. It's not unwarranted.
Well deserved as well, by the way. It's not luck, it hasn't.
No.
Got a little bit of fortune with a penalty, but the other 2 goals have been really good goals, by the way.
Avoidable from a West Ham perspective?
Yes, of course. I can say straight away, stop the cross. Don't give the ball away in the wrong areas. First man to engage. There's lots of things to talk about.
Somerville goes to ground, no foul. Wilson picks it up, edge of the penalty area. He goes down as well. Walker-Peters collects it into Wilson. Loads of Wolves players back defending. Driven effort over the top by Magassa. Wasn't the worst effort you'll see, and it was a shot at goal. It may well have been West Ham's first, just over the bar.
48 minutes and first shot, didn't even hit the target from outside the box as well, by the way. I would love to be a fly on the wall in the West Ham changing room. I wonder whether it's going to kick off, whether people are going to be pointing fingers, whether Nuno says, right, everybody sit down and shut up. You've had your go. This is what you're going to do in the second half. It's going to be amazing.
Well, you've got more insight into what goes on in dressing rooms. You've probably been in a few that have got a bit flavourful, to put it mildly, at half time, and if it's ever going to kick off, I would imagine today would be the moment. Here's Mane again, cross coming in to the West Ham penalty area. Well, Mavropanos hasn't dealt with that, comes back to to Hugo Bueno, and then sliding in his pots to clear it.
The last thing they need to do, though, Nick, right, is to point fingers. Well, you're not doing your job. Well, you're not doing your job. Come on, that's gone now.
Yeah.
It's the second half wave that they've got to get onto. They've got to be a little bit more positive. They've got to engage a little bit quicker. And the performances, certainly in possession, that's for sure, and defending has to be a lot better.
Hugo Bueno making progress down the left once again. Wins a throw-in. Still got a couple of minutes of this first half to go. A first half from a West Ham perspective that will go down in infamy. Because in a game where they were tipped to win their first away game since August against a Wolves side, who surely know they're almost down already.
So we've got one manager in shock, 3-0 down. We've got another manager who's probably still in shock because he's winning 3-0.
Exactly. Exactly. Here's a throw in then, which Mosquera's going to take into the edge of the 6-yard box. It's flicked on and gathered by Areola.
They don't even win the first header.
No, because the first header was it was flicked towards goal by Kreski, and Areola had to deal with it. They're not getting to anything at the moment. Whenever danger sort of appears on the radar, it disappears almost as quickly as this is looking for Walker-Peters. Magassa gets it back out to Walker-Peters. If West Ham can score before the interval, that will change the telemetry a little bit in this game. Magassa tries to slide this forward for Bowen, but it's easily cut out by Hugo Bueno, and the challenge comes in from Walker-Peters. It goes out for a throw-in. Yes, it will have to be very finely thought through, this intervention from Nuno Espirito Santo.
He'll have already made his mind up what he's going to say at half-time, that's for sure. And everybody better be listening, by the way. Now, if they don't listen, then he's got a huge problem.
Well, Thomas Souček is walking down the tunnel now. I don't know whether he said, "Get yourself ready to come on for the 45 minutes of your life, Thomas, when we come back out."
Well, the whole lot of them, not just him if he's coming on. The whole lot of them have got to do better.
Half-time, you can hear some of the boos from the West Ham fans, but they are drowned out by cheers from Wolves supporters. It has been a chilling 45 minutes of football from a West Ham perspective in every single sense of the phrase. They came here today knowing they had an opportunity to win away from home for the first time since August, and they started the game, the opening moments, quite positively. But John Harris scored after 4 minutes. Hwang Hee-chan doubled Wolves' lead just before the half hour after Magassa fouled Mane in the penalty area. And then with 4 minutes of the regulation 45 to go, Matheus Mane was invited to shoot on the edge of the West Ham penalty area, and he buried it into the bottom corner. I cannot really think of how this first half could have gone any worse for West Ham, who at the moment are staring down the barrel of losing to a Wolves team who haven't won in the Premier League since April. I'm afraid it speaks for itself. Wolves 3, West Ham 0 at half-time.
Total Sport.
BBC Radio London.
The problem with having just one game to focus on is that we can focus on that game. Let's bring Neil MacDonald and Nick Godwin back from Molineux. We will let you go and get some refreshment shortly, but there's one word for that, guys. Shambles. Utter shambles. One shot, last minute of added time at the end of that first half, blazing over the bar. XG for West Ham United in a game they have to win, 0.02. Wolves, XG 1.3. They could have had a fourth goal. They have scored 3 goals on 2 previous occasions already this season. Once against Chelsea, they lost 4-3. That is Chelsea. Once against West Ham United when they were 2-1 down going into the last 10 minutes of the game in the League Cup, and they won 3-2. Defensively, that was appalling. Neil.
Yeah, well, it was too much space. You have the ball, do what you want to do with it. You can cross the ball if you want. You can make runs in the box. I'll not bother tracking you back. I'll not bother trying to stop the cross. My goodness me, even the cross that come in for the big fella who's he's hit it, and Areola's made an unbelievable save. I'm absolutely flabbergasted. There's some senior professionals on there, senior professionals on the pitch, and they haven't stood up to be counted. I think they've stepped back instead of stepping forward. This was a game where they had to step forward, 1 or 2 steps forward. They've actually stepped back 1 or 2, and that's why they're being heavily punished.
I've not seen West Ham for a while, Phil. I am horrified by what I'm watching.
Yeah,
I haven't done I think the last one was one of the early Nuno games against Arsenal when they tried to just keep Arsenal at bay and lost relatively closely. But honestly, that was so bad.
Yeah.
And you know, you may have heard us halfway through the first half kind of casting around for ways to build West Ham back into the game.
Yeah.
And say, well, if they get the next goal, Wolves could buckle. You know, the nerves will rattle around more than even 2 minutes after that. It was 3-0.
Yeah.
And as I said,
and it could have gone 4.
It could. Well,
Easily.
as Mackie just said, it could 4-0 would not embarrass Wolves at all. But how they got themselves into this state where they didn't lay a glove on Wolves' defence for 45 minutes. This defence, which has been, so pusillanimous.
They haven't laid a glove on Wolves forwards either, by the way.
But at the other end, to see them just not offer bog standard defending to the likes of Matthias, they just said, well, you might as well shoot. And the half-hearted clearance from Maverick. I mean, I don't mean to sound, pearl-clutchingly horrified, but honestly, I could not believe the way that 45 minutes has been conducted.
No, I mean, I'm just looking at a replay of the first goal. Ball turned over too cheaply. No one making a challenge. Hwang allowed to run, just down the left, get a cross in, and no one tracking the goal scorer, Arias, into the penalty area. I mean, Neil, I don't know. I started off by asking, well, maybe a new signing in Nuno Espirito Santo is, feeling a bit confident that he's going to hang around. I'm not sure if there's anyone who would take the job. I'm not sure if there is, anyone that can do anything about what's happening at West Ham. The squad isn't good enough. We've discussed that a lot. No. But the minimum you expect, right? We lost our great friend Billy Bonds before Christmas in early December. I mean, listen, if he'd been playing in that team, Macca...
You actually don't have to say anything about Billy Bonds, right?
If he'd been playing in that team, he would have had teammates round the scruff of the neck, telling them to go and battle and work. They're not even working, Neil.
Yeah, no, they're not. They're not working as a team. One individual's going and there's no backup, so everyone's sitting back saying, well, you deal with that and I'll try and not even try and help you out. That is the worst. That is probably the worst performance I've seen in a long time. That team that I've been commentating on, and what I'm like. You're always trying to be positive. Always trying to be positive. There's no positivity from me whatsoever. No. I think they're hiding. Some of the players are hiding, and they're senior players, by the way. The senior players are hiding.
The phrase "a disgrace to the shirt" is overused in football. It can be quite a trite expression, but. They've got to come out. I wouldn't want my players playing like that. The badge that I, spent my lifetime following and worshipping, I wouldn't. I don't think I could bear to watch my team play like that.
They've got to come out and show some heart and spirit in the second half. If they lose this game, fine, but come out and show some fight, right?
Yeah. First of all, can you try and win your individual battle? Can you try and play better when you've got the ball? And certainly. My goodness me, get back and defend properly, not in ones and twos, as a team. So, is that not natural? Well, you got to work hard, yeah. Is that not natural? You've got to win your battle. Is that not natural? You've got to try and get into the final third. Is that not natural? Well, we work across to the finishing all the time, and we're not even putting the ball in the box. Can we get in the situations where we're in a 1v1 situation and we're not shooting? My goodness me, There's nothing to hang on to at the minute. So as I said to Nick, I'd actually love to be in the change room to see what Nuno's saying and the rest of the staff, because if the players even try and say something, my goodness me, the teacups, the physio bed, that would be up and all over the place, all over. Now just be quiet. You've had your chance to do this. This is what you're going to do in the second half. Whether you can do it or not remains to be seen. And you better do this a lot better than what you've done the first half. I would imagine that'll be the team talk, without a shadow of a doubt.
Listen, go and get yourself a cup of tea or something, chaps, because this could be a difficult second half. Or maybe it's going to be an amazing second half and a fight back for West Ham United. Let's hope so. And also, try and get the telly fixed. As something good on BBC Two, I think. Anyway, the social media, as you can imagine, has lots of gallows humour from West Ham United fans. That's what football fans do. One suggesting West Ham Bubble FC looking forward to the Championship. No VAR, no Big Six bias. 2 games a week. Might actually win a few. Don't have to suffer relegation battle next season is what it comes out. I mean, this is what's happening on social media at this moment in time. Wolves fans, can we play every week, lads? Someone suggested that Wolves have now scored more goals. As many goals against West Ham United in a League Cup game and this Molineux game this afternoon, as they've currently got points in the Premier League. I mean, it's extraordinary, isn't it? There's got to be better. Stay with us and see if West Ham United can fight back in the second half here on BBC Radio London. At 5:30, Arsenal are at the other end of the table. They're taking on Bournemouth, though, haven't won in 10. Can Arsenal stretch their lead back to 6 points over Aston Villa? And Alan Seabrook's going to be at this one. Alan?
Yeah, good evening, Phil. Good afternoon, Phil.
Well, it's going dark, so Happy New Year to you. Good evening. We'll go with evening.
Okay.
How's it looking on the Dorset coast?
Yeah, it's good. Chilly, not a cloud in the sky, so it's going to be a bit frosty. I think it's supposed to get down to 0 at some point today. So, yeah, lots of encouragement for people to run about a bit on the pitch this afternoon, I would think. But I'm looking forward to seeing Arsenal play this evening. I think, they should edge this one.
What is the mood like in Bournemouth? I saw them last week. They were awful first half against Brentford. Truly awful. Weak, tepid. Not putting any challenges in. Second half looked like world beaters, but only scored 1 goal. But they looked so much better in the second half, did Bournemouth. So what challenge can Arsenal expect, you think?
Yeah, I think that the mood really is that, I mean, it's mixed. As you say, that they had a good half, they had a bad half. They're capable of scoring goals. I think the main concern is what will happen with Semenyo going to Manchester City, and not so much him going to Manchester City, but what happens after that, because he is a massive influence on this side. And obviously his throws against Chelsea caused the goals. So, yeah, I think the mood is cautious optimism as far as how they're going to do in the league and that they'll survive, but a little bit in the back of the mind just thinking, we can't really afford to lose Semenyo.
No, they certainly can't. Arsenal, likewise, they've had to contend with a few injuries, of course, over the period of time, but that was a big win for them against Aston Villa last time out, Alan.
It was, and even bigger because there was no Declan Rice, of course, and everyone obviously pulled together and managed to turn that round. I don't think the first half was particularly good against Villa. Second half, they just blew Villa away. And considering the run that Villa had been on, I think it was a massive result for Arsenal. It's put some real daylight between them and the Midlands side, and obviously they'll need to try and increase that again this evening, because obviously Villa beat Forest earlier today, so Arsenal need to keep winning. I think it's a fast pace at the top of the Premier League at the moment. City keep winning. Villa, I think, will get back to winning after losing to Arsenal. There's no room really to drop a point even at the top. It's really fast. People say it's a race for the title. I see it more as a sprint, because you just can't stop and look over your shoulder. You
mentioned Semenyo as well. Here's the stat from Bournemouth's point of view. 43% of Bournemouth's attacks come down the left-hand side. 32 on the right-hand side, but 43, almost half of their attacking, not even down the middle, come through Semenyo or his flank.
Yeah,
that's how important he is.
It is incredibly important. It's funny because I was talking to a West Ham friend of mine before I came, and I was saying that actually the way Bournemouth are going at the moment, and if they lose Semenyo, Bournemouth might be West Ham's best chance of getting out of trouble. But he felt that when Semenyo goes, Bournemouth would sign players, but I don't think they're going to be able to replace a player of that quality. But my West Ham friend also was saying how dreadful West Ham are, and that he didn't think they would catch Bournemouth anyway, and obviously the story at Wolves at the moment would prove him right. But I think Semenyo will be a big loss if when he goes. As you say, he's an enormous influence on this side. I saw Bournemouth quite a bit last season, and even when they were kind of losing towards the end of games, he would pick it up and on the right hand side invariably, and he'd cut inside and he'd just be smashing the ball into the top left hand corner. There was a real spirit about Bournemouth when he gets the ball, and also you wonder about, as you say, the spirit of the side. If they lose a player like that, are the heads going to go down? They begin thinking, yeah, that's our talisman, that's our chance of getting a point out of something just been sold to Man City.
Yeah, absolutely. Arsenal, I suppose the team is going to be interesting. We'll get that in about 10 minutes or so. Calafiori and Declan Rice obviously are doubtful, unlikely to play, but they're getting back up to strength, Arsenal. So that will be what we're quite keen to see as well, Alan, when the team news comes out just after 4:15, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially, as I said, Declan Rice, he's such a big influence. He's such a big influence for West Ham, such a big influence for England. He just drives that midfield, doesn't he? He does more or less everything in the midfield, and obviously he's got his free kicks as well. Arsenal will be hoping he's not out for too long, and I guess the balance will be, he's got that injury. you don't want to bring him back too soon and then have him out for longer as a result. Bournemouth might be a game that they feel that perhaps they don't need to rush him back into. We might see him on the bench if he's ready for that.
Yeah.
But I don't think they'll necessarily risk him, bearing in mind they are still in the title race.
Yeah.
And with the season is still got a bit to go.
Team news from you shortly, Alan. Thank you very much indeed. Enjoy the music as well, bouncing up and down in the new year there at Bournemouth against Arsenal. It's a 5:30 kickoff. Back at the Molineux shortly.
BBC Radio London.
It's the North London derby, Arsenal against Tottenham Hotspur.
On one of the signature days in the London football calendar.
The sound of London.
We will wish you the best of luck. Helen, not so much. For the London
Thank you, Arsenal fans, for being a bit croaky this morning. What a North London derby debut
The
for
sound
Everett.
of London.
Happily well lubricated, a taste of London at its finest.
Not many people get to experience London in this way.
I think it's London at its absolute best.
Today was an immense feeling on behalf of the Sea Pioneers.
The sound of London.
Why you've come on the show today and what you're quite keen that people should do.
Get your prostate checked. No one will have to tickle the little thing anymore.
Listen on your smart speaker and on BBC Sounds.
BBC Radio London.
It's Total Sport on a Saturday afternoon. Molineux, the location of our commentary game. West Ham United trailing Wolves by 3-0 at half-time. Let's bring back our commentary team, Neil McDonald and Nick Godwin at Molineux. Changes being made by both teams. One response to us on social media already about whether there's going to be a fight back for West Ham in the second half. West Ham are just poor. If Nuno can't get them playing, who can?
Well,
that was why he was brought in the first place, but you know, it's his defensive solidity he was brought in for, and that was non-existent.
Yeah, well, again, if he can't bring the sort of defensives, I mean, West Ham's only route out of this was to kind of bore the points off people, but they haven't been able to do that. Thomas Souček is coming on, as is Ezra Myers. Those are the two changes to West Ham. Sangusa Magassa and Freddie Potts have both come off, Phil. So it's the midfield that's been attended to, and we're underway. Shall we bring you the greatest fight back in West Ham's history?
Please.
Would you like to hear that in the next
please.
45 minutes? Well, we'll do our very best for you, and then we can have part two of the quiz. Oh dear.
It's a big ask, a really big ask, no matter what level you're at, to come back from 3. But I know Phil mentioned a couple of situations there where they were 3-0 up and they got beat 4-3 or whatever.
This will be of a different scale, really.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
There was a change to Wolves as well, which in all the excitement almost passed me by, but we'll tidy everything up and let you know who's playing where and for whom in just a second. But West Ham started the tried to be positive at the start of the second half. They've got a new midfield with Souček and Mayers in there.
3 at the back as well with 2 wing backs.
Oh, Mayers has been sent in, has been put in as an extra centre half. Or
he's been left of the 3.
Scarles has gone as a wing back. Yeah, so.
And Peters, we need Peters to push forward as well.
Walker Peters also in there as a wide player. So yeah, lots to think about with this West Ham team, who come forward now with Matheus Fernandes, played in for Bowen on the edge of the penalty area, had a quiet first half. It's given to Fernandes once again, dinks in a cross, headed away, scrambled away rather, and cleared towards the halfway line. West Ham trying to ask some questions in these opening moments. They did this at the start of the first half though, and it didn't really work out. Here's Mayers and Souček exchanging passes with Fernandes. Souček moves forward, gives it to Somerville on the left-hand side, into the substitute Souček, who points for where he wants Somerville to get the ball. Now Scarles, corner of the penalty area, gets held up. Souček square for Myers up from left centre half. Here's Kilman, who's playing as the centre of the 3 centre halves for West Ham, who are 3-0 down, just to underline that fact.
They've got a little bit of width now. They've got to switch the ball, and I think they've got to, whether they're a little bit deep or whether they're in and around the box, they've got to cross the ball and put the ball in the box.
Give it to Souček again, who's seen quite a bit of it since coming on. Clips it wide to Somerville, left-hand side, brings it under control well, and wants to run at the full-back and gets a cross in that looks at Bowen, who bicycle kicks it over the top. It was behind him, so it's all he could do really, and that's West Ham's second shot. Neither of them have been on target.
It's a positive play though. Ball in the box. I thought he might have swiveled and tried to head that one, but he's gone for the overhead kick. But that is really, really interesting. I think the shape is making Wolves having to think about what they're doing now, what shape they're going to go. So that has definitely worked. The personnel, okay, still plenty of time for the personnel to work, but definitely the shape has helped them at least get into the final third and deliver one ball in the box, which is a vast improvement from the first half.
I think Andre has come on, and I think he's come on for João Gomez, so that's the change for Wolves. We were worrying about the West Ham midfield, but there is a tweak of personnel for Wolves as well. So West Ham have got Alphonse Areola in goal, a back three now of Kilman, Mavropanos and Mayers. The wing-backs are Walker-Peters and Scarles, with Fernandez and Souček in the middle, Bowen and Somerville supporting Wilson up front. Sars, the goalkeeper for Wolves, a back three of Santiago Bueno, Mosquera and Krejci. In midfield, Tachua, Mane, Andre, Arias and Hugo Bueno, with Hwang Hee-chan and Tolu Arukadare as the most advanced players. Here is Mayers getting it wide to Scarles. Again, if West Ham can score early in this second half, it will test the Wolves players' nerve.
Wolves have definitely got a back five there. Look at that, 3 centre-halves, 2 wing-backs, and everyone just sitting in front. Come on, and can you break us down? Can actually West Ham break them down?
Well, the answer so far to that question has been a resounding no. What about Somerville here on the edge of the penalty area? Tries to offload to Souček, taken away from both of them. Wolves will try and counter. Good foot in by Fernandez. Wins it back for West Ham.
Move the ball on nice and quick now. Come on. Move it quickly. Tempo.
Well, Fernandez is leading the charge again. Bowen's popped up in a more central position. He's been dispossessed, and charging forward is Arukadare, and when he gets going he's difficult to stop, but he's taken a heavy touch there and it's rolled away and out for a throw-in on the far side, and that's just stopped the latest Wolves counter-attack. And again, it was Jared Bowen who was a bit cheap in possession there.
Yeah, Somerville seems to be the one to try and get on the ball, but even the two outside centre-halves have got space to drive in. When they get the ball, they can drive in. They don't have to play right to the back. Keep driving in, and then once they pass it and find the man further forward, then just come back in your shape. They've definitely got to double up, especially with them playing two wide players.
Here's Scarles for Somerville, and back to Scarles again, but the two of them can't find a way through on that side. Wolves are barely venturing out their own half unless it's a counter-attack.
They don't need to.
No, well, they're 3-0 up.
3-0 up.
Kyle Walker-Peters into Bowen inside the Wolves half of the field, but not making too much progress.
There's another delivery, 2v1 at the back.
Clips it in for Scarles, who tries to win the header, but Tachua emerges with the ball, and then that's been cleared by Arias into the heels of Mayers. He goes out for a throw-in. There's a sitting watching brief
and the
now
Wolves fans, believe it or not, are 3-0 up, and they're trying to get the team going. Because there's that Rob Edwards saying that's it, game over. 5 at the back, 4 in midfield, 1 up top.
Let's try to see this through to a conclusion, Wolves. Mavropanos does just enough in front of Mane there to win the ball, and it's played centrally for Fernandez, who storms forward in West Ham colours. If there is any urgency,
he's got to get on the outside.
It's from him. Bowen dispossessed again, and Hugo Bueno bustles his way over halfway. And Fernandez tracks him and puts it out of play for a throw-in. Well, what a scoreline this remains. The longer it is 3-0, does it become any less shocking as the West Ham fans watch on rather pensively, torn between the slim chance that they can get anything from this game, coupled with the nagging fear that it could still get an awful lot worse. Santiago Bueno uses Ladislav Krejci, who clears downfield. Sorry,
I agree with that, Nick. Okay, if they're going to get beat 4 and 5, they've got to at least they've got to give it a go. They've got to try a little bit better than what they did the first half. The shape has given them a little bit of shape and making the pitch bigger.
Yeah.
Now it's all about end product now. And do you actually want to get in the box?
Skulls, edge of the Wolves box, gets held up. Somerville is there to help out.
Well, look at that, only 2 in the box. Only 2 in the box.
Yeah, and guess what? It's a Wolves player who clears it. Fernandez and Souček were stuck on the edge of the centre circle.
Souček is on the deepest one. He should be in the box.
Well, trouble is he can't really move. He can head the ball. There's no question of that. He's effective.
Yeah.
But he's not going to be scampering.
Well, they've certainly lost the mobility with their pots going off. And
yeah,
that's for sure.
Yeah, Magassa gets around the pitch, although again, didn't really in the first half. No. But no, I don't think any West Ham player really emerged with a great deal of credit for that.
Not
first 45. Areola for the save, maybe, but that's all he did. Here's Bowen again, the cross, and that's been headed behind for a corner.
Come on.
There's got to be something in this for West Ham.
As I say, right, this ball has got to be perfect. He crossed the first one in the first half really well. The Skulls. He's got to put the ball on the sixpence again. And if you listen to your manager, come on, get on the end of it. Set play, mate. Just get back into it. And I'm telling you, the whole place will change if West Ham get a goal here.
Skulls with the delivery, left-footed. Swung in and headed away by Santiago Bueno. Recycled by Fernandez. Skulls will send another cross in from a deeper position towards the far post. Souček back across goal, but into the arms of Jose Sarr. Danger averted. And the attendance is confirmed at 29,874. 2,992 travelling fans from East London. Here come Wolves with Tachua, and he gets held up eventually by Somerville, and then he's had his heels clipped there.
What?
No, the referee's going to give it now. He was always good. These days you can't. I don't know why they wait.
I know.
Give the impression that there might be the chance to keep going. But yeah, 2,992 fans from West Ham in the away end.
And they're still all there, by the way.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought they'd all go home, or some of them would go home, but they haven't.
There.
I was checking constantly.
Every credit to them, they're still there.
To see if anyone was heading for the exit. But
all they'll be looking for is a better performance, a little bit of hard work, trying to get back into it. That's all they want to see. They probably thought the game's already lost.
Well, they're still here. Hwang with the free kick delivery. Areola comes and claims. Under no real pressure. It was given plenty of air, that free kick, but couldn't find another old gold shirt. 10 minutes gone in the second half here on BBC Radio London, and it is still shockingly 3-0.
Yeah, shockingly 3-0. I'm a little bit surprised that West Ham don't leave people up, from wide free kicks. At least Areola comes and gets that. He can't even throw it out. He's had to throw it to the left back, which is just outside the box. If they leave a couple up, wouldn't be a bad thing. And then he can throw it or even kick it. Puts Wolves under pressure.
Well, now West Ham are coming forward, but Wolves have got everybody back behind the ball once again. So Kilman on the halfway line. Mavropanos now playing on the right of a 3-man back line, so can get a bit further forward, but he's tried to get this out wide to Walker Peters, who's really hugging that right touch line. Here's Ezra Mayers.
Got to go wide and then play off and then follow your own.
Skulls on the left, but no way through. Back to Mayers, who...
When you just go from side to side, Nick, right? When you just go from side to side, Wolves just adjust. One ball's got to go into the middle, really, to try and force them inside, then the space is on the outside. We're not just quite doing that at the moment.
Here's Andre in the middle of the field. He's got no way through, though, for Wolves, so he goes back to Mosquera.
That's better, on the front foot, good.
Mayers with a challenge, and then tries to hook this forward, looking for Somerville, the youngster there with some positivity. His fourth... it's going to be played through for Somerville, inside the penalty, across the face it goes, and before it can get to Wilson, coming across on the cover is Krejci, who puts it out for a corner.
That's better. Somerville's the one who's going to unlock the door, without a shadow of a doubt. And then it's a ball across the face of the goal. Okay, that's a counter-attack. There's only one in the box, but at least Callum Wilson's making a run at the front post, which is really good. Good defending from Wolves, to be fair. But that's what they need. They need to make the forward pass, make the forward run, and then an end product inside the box to try and get back into it.
Matheus Fernandez has taken over corner duties on this side of the field. West Ham's third corner of the game, right-footed in swinger. There's a lot of bodies in the 6-yard box. This one comes in towards the near post, and it's headed away. Scarles will chase it back. Gives it to Walker-Peters, who tries to fire it out to Fernandez. Oh, and it's actually come back to Fernandez from Scarles' challenge. And here's a cross into the penalty area. It's going to drop to Somerville. Runs out of space before he can shoot. And now Mavropanos fires it over the top from just inside the box. And we'll put that down as another shot that isn't on target for West Ham at 3-0.
Yeah, got a little bit of luck there with a bad play from Heachan on the wing there. A ball into the box, okay, keep the pressure on, and then you really want to fall into a midfield player or a forward who's going to have that shot. Unfortunately, just Mavropanos just leaning back a touch, and it went over the crossbar.
More changes ahead for Wolves, I think, as they look to continue to protect this 3-0 lead. It looks as though Jorgen Strand Larsen is going to come on. I've heard his name mentioned in the early mumblings in the transfer window, actually, as a potential player to move away from Molineux.
I'm quite surprised he hasn't forced his way into the team, mind you, because I think he's decent. He runs in behind. He's a good target player. He's decent in the air. He hasn't seemed to have scored many goals and obviously played a lot.
Well, he's coming on now, and there is a injury to a Wolves player inside their own penalty area. So while there's this treatment, there's a bit of a conference. Interestingly, the West Ham players do not come over to the technical area for further briefing.
No, because Callum Wilson's saying, like, come on, keep it going, keep trying to play the ball forward. So yeah, there's a little bit of leadership, which is excellent.
A chat with Crescencio Somerville.
I know Jared Bowen, right? He leads by example. He leads by doing things on the pitch. He might not be as vocal as what others are, but he's still trying to get his players going, which is really good. Come on, we can still do this. They have to keep on believing. If they don't believe, they may as well just pack in now.
Strand Larsen's coming on. Hwang Hee-chan is okay, having been treated inside his own penalty area.
I think he's going to go off though.
Oh, you think this is the change?
Yeah.
He can't continue, and you're absolutely right, Neil McDonald, because Hwang, who scored the penalty, making 2-0.
Well, that gives West Ham a little bit of a problem now, because they've almost got 3 forwards on the pitch now. You're trying to overcommit, you're trying to get forward. You've got to make sure you have half an eye on the centre forwards who are up top, because they're very, very capable. Instead of Chan, who might be playing right wing back, or might be playing, as a winger, 5 at the back, slightly just changes the complexity for West Ham on how to defend.
Yep, change for them for Wolves is completed. Strand Larsen on, still 3-0. Is Wilson tries to chase his own flick on. Mosquera hooks it away to the halfway line, where it's brought under control by Souček, and then drilled back by Walker-Peters.
Early, good.
To Areola, who gets rid of it quickly.
This is when they've got the ball speed's got to be 100%. Come on, pass and move the ball quickly before Wolves get back into the two mid blocks. 5 at the back, 4 midfield.
Yeah.
They've actually gone 5 and 2 with 3 up top.
Now Bowen is going to try and get on the end of this ball forward, but it's headed away by Kreshki. Wilson tries to win it back.
That's good.
Bowen
That's
sneaked
good.
in and won it for West Ham. Down the right for Walker-Peters. Beats his man into the penalty area, gets the cross in and goes down. I'm not sure they'll get anything for that.
I don't think it was a penalty.
No,
looking from here.
It's a throw instead.
At least he's getting forward. That's been in the wing back position. That's really good. But look where Scholes is. Scholes has got to be around the back, especially when Peters is there. So one wing back crossing the ball, the other wing back inside the 6-yard box, far post if he possibly can. That's if the ball's going to come in the box. It didn't come in the box. Good defending from Wolves.
Yeah, it's be a throw in for Walker-Peters to take, level with the edge of the Wolves penalty area, and he's going to throw it short to Bowen. Back to Walker-Peters. Here's Bowen again, who was involved in that bright passage of play for West Ham. Fernandez goes past his man and runs down the right, gives it to Souček, who's going to, he sends it the other side of Jared Bowen, who'd made a dash into the box. Souček went outside him, and he goes out for a goal kick. And
yeah, wrong side of him and wrong side Peters. Peters was wide there, it should have really went into Peters. Bowen's made the run inside, okay, if he gets the ball then you know what he's like, coming inside on his left foot trying to bend one in, but Peters, he made the run so Peters could have that ball and he just didn't pick the right pass.
And Jose Sarr is going to take a clearance away to our left. A reminder that West Ham against Nottingham Forest will be on Tuesday evening, live on BBC Radio London DAB. Here's Mane coming forward for Wolves through the middle of the field. Gives it to Arakadare, who tries to help it wide to the flank and to Chua, but West Ham have cleared it. Not very far though. Hugo Bueno moving infield, turning it onto his right foot. Goes to goal! Good save by Areola down to his left. Whenever Wolves come forward, the West Ham players, well, I hate to say it, Neil, they don't try and stop them.
No, they're not engaging. They're just backing off. They're backing off, inviting the man to have a shot. Another good save from Areola, but really, it's really avoidable for the first man just to close down and get a little bit closer. That's all it is. That red light is flashing, by the way. As soon as he comes inside, the red light is flashing. You better get close. You better get tight.
And I've never played professional football, but I was a bit alarmed. Here's the corner, swung in towards the edge of the box. It's going to drop to Walker-Peters, who hacks it clear in a bit of a hurry. Comes out to that far side of the field, who drives his way past Skulls here, and Strand Larsen heads it wide. Free header, 7 yards out, in front of the post, couldn't direct it. On target, still 3-0.
I think we've said that before, Nick. Free header inside the box. Free header inside the box. Wow.
Well, West Ham were a bit more positive offensively. Well, I can't see much improvement defensively.
No, there's no improvement on the defensive side. Now, it's only because Wolves are just sitting back in. That's why it looks on the eyes if they're a little bit better. There's still really no end product. There's a couple of overhead kicks or a couple of shots. So just keep knocking on the door, keep asking the question.
Bowen forward for Souček towards the byline. Has he won another corner? He has.
Up to the byline. Somebody running in behind. Souček, instead of sitting, he's running in behind. He normally on the opposite side drives in the box and gets a header. But here, this is the best way they're going to get back into it with the set play. All Wolves players are back, so why not push the midfield players in? Push their midfield players in, lock on so they can't come out.
Scar's delivery towards the near post, headed away all too comfortably by Hugo Bueno, who had that shot a bit earlier, doing some defensive work this time.
You deliver it, good.
Fernandez's cross looks for Kilman, and he's had it snatched away from him by Sarr, who belts it downfield. And Myers is in a foot race here with Arakadare, but Myers wins it, guides it back to Areola. He's quite rapid, isn't he? Ezra Myers.
Really good kick, by the way. He come and commanded his box there really good. Probably the cross was just a little bit too close. Just a little bit too close to the goalkeeper.
Still 3-0. Here's Bowen inside Wolves territory into Souček. Back to Walker-Peters, who moves in field. He's done well to wriggle away from two, but then he loses his footing.
Keeps on slipping.
Yeah, he's gone down a few times actually.
Yeah.
Carl Walker-Peters.
He needs to get back as well.
Well, it's on his side as they're coming forward. Wolves trying to turn defence into attack, but a space here for Mosquera, just inside his own half of the field. Somerville approaches him, and that makes Wolves slam the brakes on for a few moments. Hugo Bueno on that far side of the field. 21 minutes of the second half gone. West Ham a little bit more threatening.
Yeah,
have they had a shot?
The goalkeeper make a save yet?
Have they had a shot on target? Answer no. Here's Arakadare bursting through on goal. Important intervention by Mavropanos to knock it back to Areola. Here's Souček.
Nunes would have been wanting at least 2 shots on target.
Yeah, there've been none.
I mean, absolutely none. You try and settle at the target. Come on, first 10 minutes, at least 1 shot on target. Just try and couple of set plays where we can get the first contact, but that hasn't materialised as of yet. Wolves are actually letting them play in front of them, not behind them.
Yeah, the organisation remains there for Wolves, who are at the moment on target to claim their first clean sheet of the campaign. Their first win.
Yeah.
And that is a bit of an indictment of West Ham so far. Fernandez plays this forward. Walker-Peters dashing down the right, but Kreshki takes it away from him. Hugo Bueno goes down under a challenge. Free kick to Wolves, halfway inside their own half of the field. Earlier on today, you were saying that, Wolves having not won a game this season is terrible, and I thought you were right, because basically there are so many really ordinary teams in the Premier League this season. However, that makes West Ham's performance so far this afternoon that much worse, that they have been second best against a team who've struggled against so many ordinary sides.
That's the biggest indictment, I think, is they've been second best to a team that haven't won a game, second best when they should be winning that individual battles.
Second best in so many different areas of the pitch as well. That's frustrating.
And then certainly poor defending, that's for sure.
Mane, who scored the third, into Arias, who scored the first. Here's Hugo Bueno, whose cross is charged down by Walker-Peters. Was there use of a hand an arm in an unnatural position? The referee says, wait, they're checking this. Did Walker-Peters handle it inside the box?
Ball to hand.
He was very close.
As usual, we haven't...
no, we've got a big blank screen.
We haven't got a screen to have a look. That's definitely ball. If it has hit his hand...
play on, says the referee.
That's just ball to hand, even if it did hit it.
Gentleman to our left has very kindly leaned out the way so we can see his monitor. I'm afraid ours isn't working. We've tried everything except chuck it out the press box. Here's the throw into the box. It goes. It bounces awkwardly, and there's a foul on Walker-Peters. It's a free kick. Right. Well, it's 3-0 to Wolves here, and at 5:30, Arsenal play Bournemouth in the league leaders' latest attempts to drop anchor at the top of the table. Let's get the team news from Alan Seabrook.
Yeah, it's 3 changes for Arsenal from their win against Villa last time out. The big news, of course, Declan Rice returns to the starting lineup for the Gunners. The other changes this evening will be that Martinelli and Madueke also come into the starting lineup. Marino, Trossard and Saka all drop to the bench.
Thank you, Alan. Still 3-0 here to Wolves. We've got 20 minutes of the 90 to go here on BBC Radio London. A reminder, tomorrow we're on air from 2 o'clock. Lots of football in the Premier League, the Championship, Leagues 1 and 2 as well. That ball has sailed over Scarl's head. Commentary from Newcastle against Crystal Palace. And Palace's latest odyssey that extended through December and is going long into January. It'll carry on in February as well, because they've got those 2 Europa Conference League playoff ties to negotiate as well. Plenty of other games tomorrow, as well as Wilson chases this back to Sarr, who clears it only as far as Fernandes. Bowen is caught. The referee's going to give a free kick to West Ham here. Took a little while for him to register that.
Lucky to get that. He was waiting for the ball. Defender was on the front foot. Just move towards the ball, have a chest, and then the defender's out of it. If you don't, then you run the risk of being stood on or just kicked there.
The Wolves fans enjoying themselves, and we can't say they've been enjoying themselves for most of this campaign, but they are enjoying themselves at the expense of West Ham, who at the moment show no colossal signs of clambering back into this contest.
So
here's a free kick.
You've seen this 22-year-old centre forward, and he's nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, you need a goal.
Is it worth throwing him on, even though he's probably nowhere near ready?
Well, Wilson probably won't last the 90, I suppose.
Yeah,
so
he's probably nowhere near ready, but let's just put him on, eh?
Well, I think
let's
Wilson
have a look
and come off.
Show everybody what he's all about.
Free kick played short. Here's Fernandes, whose cross comes in, punched away by Sarr. Gets good distance on it. Comes to Mayers, who lifts it back into the danger zone. Wilson across goal. Bowen can't get there, neither can Somerville. Cleared away as far as Wilson on the touchline. And here is Wilson trying to battle his way past his man. He's still going. He's won a corner here. Brighton lead their 3 o'clock kickoff against Burnley by 2-0. Rutter and Ayari with the goals for Brighton. Here is a West Ham corner, their 5th of the game, down the right. Scars to take it. Bends it in awkwardly again. Sarr gets above several West Ham players and punches it clear. And now the counter-attacking possibility. Oh, that's hit Souček more by luck than judgment, really.
That's easy to stop, first of all, by going and engaging on the edge of the box instead of staying back. That stops the counter-attack coming, so you may as well go nice and tight, win the ball on the edge of the box, put the ball back in the box, and you've got a chance of scoring. If you just sit back and let them counter-attack.
Somerville down the left, tries to go past his man and win a corner. He has won another corner. Well, West Ham are racking up the corners now. This is number 6 of the game.
Still haven't won the first contact, though, have they?
And Sarr has been dominating his box, hasn't he? He's a big tall goalkeeper, but he's won an awful lot of duels in the air.
They've got some size in there as well, have Wolves.
Oh, they're checking for a penalty now here. While the corner's been held up, the VAR symbol has come up. Is it when Sarr is jumping to punch the ball away? The referee says it's not a penalty.
Yeah.
Here's the corner in towards the near post. Wilson tries to help it on, but he can't do anything with it. It goes out for a goal kick. That's one word for it.
Yeah, that wasn't the best delivery.
No.
You have to deliver in the right areas.
Again,
let's not forget, West Ham know where the ball's going. West Ham have worked at the free kicks and corners, and the ball's not coming into the areas that it's supposed to come into. That was a poor delivery.
Yeah, and again, the one thing they were doing was earning corners, so it was an opportunity to build a bit of momentum.
Yes.
Get Wolves players pinned on their own goal line.
And then apply that pressure. Hopefully somebody nods it into their own goal.
Or the second ball, as you said.
Yeah, the second ball, but they've got to be a little bit tighter on the edge of the box.
Sotek sends this header forward powerfully, and Somerville gets to that, but he's actually caught the defender Mosquera. It'll be a free kick here to Wolves inside their own half.
The Wolves fans are taunting Nuno by giving the wave.
Yes, they're having fun with their former manager here.
Yeah.
Because the longer this goes on, we've got just over 15 minutes to go. And West Ham are still miles from getting back into this.
He's just gone and sat on his seat as well. I would want, certainly if I was a player, for the manager to be shouting the ball at me to try and pull and push me, to try and encourage me, instead of sitting on the bench. That's not a criticism. Each to their own on how they do it, or they're looking at the video, or they're thinking about making another change to see whether they can try and liven something up, and even just try and test the Wolves goalkeeper, which they haven't done.
Well, I said Pablo Philippe is on the bench. I mean, if he wasn't in a position to be thrown on,
he won't be ready.
No.
He won't be ready, Nick. Right? But why not just throw him on anyway?
With the lack of any other ideas, and there are currently
he may just surprise you.
That's a handball.
If I had it, he's come from Portugal, hasn't he? Yeah. Now, if he had come from South America, then I might have thought, oh well, okay then. But he's come from Portugal. He's been playing.
Yeah, he's been playing a lot of football. West Ham have cleared the danger here.
We all know how difficult it is to try and come on in the Premiership. But my goodness, when you're 3-0 down, get the boy on. He might score.
Let's be honest. As this flies into the main stand here for a throw in. What's the referee?
Yeah, he's given a free kick. He's given a free kick.
Free kick to Wolves.
Somerville, yeah.
Fouled by Somerville. It's not as though West Ham are blessed with a huge number of other options. Are they going to put Igor Julio on? No. Are they going to put Guido Rodriguez on? Never really worked out what he's supposed to do. George Earthy, Mohamedou Kante, both midfielders.
Even when you mention all of them, he hasn't got much to change, really, has he? To be fair, even right from the start. I know he's made a couple of changes. There doesn't seem to be a lot more for his options, that's for sure. So let's throw the kid on, see what he's like.
Well, you can almost, it's 3-0 with 13 minutes to go. You could almost write the game off, really, and say, well, let's give him some minutes in the Premier League and see what he can do. No sign of that so far.
Yeah, instead of a training session tomorrow, if they're in, I would imagine they're in tomorrow. Sometimes you get a day off, but
they're playing
I would imagine
Tuesday,
they'll be coming in,
one only can imagine how that's going to go. As Mosquera takes a throw into the West Ham box, headed away by Mavropanos. Mosquera lets it goes over his head. And then Andre crosses early. Mavropanos wins that header as well. It's going to come to the edge of the box. And Mane does well to spin his man and shoots. It's saved by Areola and scrambled away. Mane once again being allowed to shoot on the edge of the box. Areola makes his third important save. This could be much worse. 3. Here come Wolves again. Mosquera.
Stop the cross. Stop the cross.
Here's Skulls just getting a toe to that to take it away from Arias. It's a Wolves corner, their 5th of the game. They still lead this contest 3-0 here on BBC Radio London. And well, we said to Phil at the start of this half that we do our level best to bring you one of the great West Ham recoveries. We are now going to do our level best to bring you the most dramatic 15 minutes of radio you'll hear over this Christmas period, but I wouldn't bet on it.
No, I wouldn't bet on it either. Now, this is a pressure game right from the start.
Yeah.
Yep. They've lost the battle. They've lost the game. In my opinion, they've already lost the game. And now the even bigger pressure against. So if they can't deal with this, my goodness me, it doesn't look good.
Forest at home
against Forest, yeah.
Yeah. Those
West Ham home form's not the best anyway, is it really?
No, they've won 2 games at home, just 1 away from home this season. And obviously that London Stadium crowd can turn. Here's the corner. Hugo Bueno takes it, and it's gone out of play for another corner. It's headed away.
Good defending.
Second corner in quick succession.
Please don't let any of the Wolves players get a free header inside the box. Well, look at the size of the West Ham players.
Yeah, they should be winning their fair share of these.
Now, okay, well, I'm in a zone. Well, move your feet, attack the ball, take responsibility, and get the first contact.
Strand Larsen in there. This comes in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. It's headed down and claimed by Areola. It was Mosquera who got first contact.
Another free header.
Yeah, he was not challenged, to put it mildly.
And just being on the move, it's amazing, isn't it? You try and tell players, even the forwards, even whoever's in, be on the move and you've got a chance. Be on the move, you've got a chance of heading the ball. Don't stand and watch it.
Here's Walker-Peters coming forward for West Ham down that right-hand side. Goes to ground, it's a foul, it's a free kick.
Now get your big men up, go on, get up there nice and early. Don't just jog up, sprint up there and then get the rest and get ready.
I don't know if Max Kilman's deliberately biding his time to make a late entry into the 18-yard box, but he's in no hurry.
It just shows the crowd, and they're still there, by the way. They're still there.
Yeah, still haven't gone. Fair play to them. They could be halfway home by now.
No, just a decent ball in. Come on. In between the sticks. Stay in between the sticks. There's no point in going outside the sticks. Stay inside the sticks, and you try and put that ball right in the middle of the goal, not in the keeper's hands, so everyone can attack the ball. It's going to be an in-swing. I think Skulls.
Yeah, Skulls with the left foot from the right side, so it'll bend in. Let's see what Wolves are made of in these last 10 minutes. Skulls delivery hits the first player, the first Wolves defender. It barely got off the ground, and if Ollie Skulls thinks that's good enough, well, someone has got to tell him that it is. I mean, I'm sure he didn't do it deliberately.
No, he didn't do it deliberately.
That was rubbish.
But that's the scenario. You're looking for a little bit of quality in the final third. That's a free hit, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's not going in the right area.
It's not even made the Wolves big players in that 6-yard box have to react.
There's no panic. There's no physical contact. Just a free header on the front. My goodness me.
A few West Ham fans starting to melt away on the far side, and you can't blame them. Here is a throw, which Mosquera takes deep inside his own half of the field. Myers has won the header. Here's Bowen. Souček has to get out of his way. Mavropanos goes wide to Walker-Peters on that right-hand side, into Matthias Fernandez. Now Souček, and Myers, and Somerville on that left side, running at the edge of the Wolves penalty area. It will take a goal now for West Ham just to go home with something to savour. Somerville's given that away, and then Kilman's been caught out on the halfway line by Strand Larsen, and Mane is going to chase this, but Mavropanos has come across and guided it back to Areola, who's had to make 3 significant saves to keep it at 3-0.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to see this new West Ham striker today. Skulls has it on the left. West Ham still probing forward. 7.5 minutes to go.
I still can't believe they haven't put him on. You know.
Well, it would just be. It would be the unknown, wouldn't it?
Well, listen. The known hasn't worked, so why not try the unknown?
Yeah, the known has not. The known has failed in all departments. So a gamble of that. This is actually almost like a safe time to gamble. You wouldn't put him on 1-0 down against Nottingham Forest.
It's a freebie, isn't it? It's a freebie. Let's have a look. Let's see whether the fans are going, my goodness me, that's good. Or, bloody hell, he's hopeless, by the way. Well, we're not going to find out, though, because he's not going to put him on.
Here's Skulls on the left. Tries to roll it forward for Myers, but it's intercepted. Runs back into the West Ham half of the field. Souček collects. Drives forward. David Moller Wolf is going to come on
further forward. You know, he's much better getting forward instead of being the sitting in the pivot man.
Souček.
Yeah. He's still the pivot man there.
Yeah. They've deployed him in that role.
I know he makes some really good runs from deep. Now he's got to get in the box. As soon as it goes away, he's got to get in the box.
Well, he knows how to score goals. One of the few West Ham players out there with any kind of track record. As Somerville is caught by Chachua, and that's a yellow card for the right wing back for Wolves. First card of the game.
Yeah, come on, get up. I know he's slightly waking you, but I think it was the fall more so than anything.
Yes,
get
he
up,
kind of cartwheeled through the air, didn't he? Free kick to West Ham.
Get up.
Well, he's not getting up at the moment. Crescencio Somerville is still on the ground. Time continues to tick away. It looks as though we're going to see Tawanda Chirewa come on for Wolves next.
Yeah, that's just fresh legs, that's all that is.
And David Moller Wolf is actually not coming on now. Now Somerville is up. And Matías Fernández is going to take this free kick.
Right, get in the box, jog across, get that leg back.
Not far from the corner flag, this free kick. The Wolves change is going to take place now.
No,
Mane coming on.
I'm nitpicking here, right? I'm really nitpicking. You only need one across the ball.
Yeah.
Get the other one in the box. Get the other one outside the box. What are you going to do? Are you going to tap to each other? One decide to play the ball in. You're 3-0 down. Get as many people in the box as you possibly can.
Big applause for Matías Mane, the man who scored the third goal. Tawanda Chirewa is going to come on, and they've still got Skulls and Fernandez over this.
And surely Somerville on the edge of the box, push in.
Surely it'll be Fernandez with the right foot to bend it into the danger zone, you would have thought, but it's almost like West Ham are running on automatic.
Even Mears should be standing on the pen spot. Go and stand on the pen spot.
Yeah. he's
and let Walker Peters go on the edge of the box.
He's just standing there on the edge of the D at the moment. And it is Fernandez who sends it in. It's punched away by Sarr once again. Comes out to Mayers, who goes back to Walker Peters as the last one back for West Ham.
And deliver. Everybody's
Skulls
in there. Deliver.
He hasn't delivered. He's given it to Fernandez, who sweeps a very high ball into the 18-yard box. Nodded down and scrambled away from the line. It's before Souček can get there at the far post.
Look where Souček is now. Far post where he needs to be. Not sitting back trying to dictate everything. Get him in the box. Deliver in the box when he's in there.
Fernandez down the left-hand side.
Now deliver yourself. Good. A little bit too close to the goalkeeper.
It's punched away by Sarr once again, but he's got good distance on it. Walker Peters will collect it on that right-hand side. West Ham having a bit of a spell here. Walker Peters into the box, low cross, dealt with by Chirewa with the substitute, and it's gone over the head.
That's unlucky. Now compose yourself. Now compose yourself.
Here he is again, hammering this into the box, and it's going to be flicked out of play by Arias for a throw-in.
The Wolves coming on, the Wolves.
And yes, very appropriately for a Wolverhampton Wanderers player. Arakadare's coming off, the striker for Wolves, who had that chance at 3-0.
Number 6,
David Moller-Wolf comes on, wearing number 6 in his place. I'm sure they didn't sign him because he was named after the club's mascot, but wouldn't that be lovely if it were true? The fans have given him a great reception. These Wolves fans must have come here thinking, you know,
well,
they're not going to win 3-0, surely.
This is an unbelievable result, really, when you think about it.
Well, it's incalculably damaging from a West Ham perspective, I'm afraid.
Yeah, more so, yes, that.
Somerville has left that for Skulls. We could be here all day until West Ham take this throw in, which they eventually do. Guided back to Mayers, who lets that run into his own half of the field and uses Areola. Darkness has fallen here in Wolverhampton. It's a bitterly cold night, but I think those West Ham fans are all numb anyway from what they've seen from their team.
There's a few left now. There's a few left. There's a few yellow seats there now.
Yeah, they've decided that really, there isn't much more to be gained by watching this. It's still 3-0. A reminder that Newcastle against Crystal Palace is our live commentary game tomorrow afternoon on BBC Radio London. You can follow it on your phone at BBC Sounds. And on Tuesday, we're at London Stadium. For West Ham, Nottingham Forest. Hold on to your hats for that one. Kilman to Somerville on the left-hand side. We've got 90 seconds of the 90 minutes to go. West Ham need to find 3 goals from somewhere, or at least one to make everybody feel a bit better. Somerville goes to ground. He's convinced he was fouled. He looks at the referee, who says goal kick to Wolves, who still lead. And it looks as though all kinds of records are going to be broken here for Wolverhampton Wanderers. They're going to win their first game of the season at the 20th attempt. They're going to keep their first clean sheet of the season.
That's 4 points out of 2 games. That's promotion form.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, well, a point at Old Trafford and then a home win.
Yeah,
that'll do very nicely.
That'll give them lots of confidence, you know.
Well, absolutely.
Even though they're miles behind.
Yes, that will take them onto the princely total of 6 points in the Premier League this season.
Their objective, and without a shadow of a doubt, is to not.
Strand Larsen goes for goal from halfway. It's out for a goal kick.
In Derby.
Yeah, absolutely. Being relegated in good order, is that what they call it? There's a lot to be said for that.
Yeah.
If you go down chaotically, it's even more difficult to adapt to the Championship than it is, I think, if you.
Well, we talk about what was it? 1906.
1903.
1903. One of them stats.
Yeah.
So you never. It could take years and years and years.
5 minutes.
You know, for everybody to keep on mentioning the lowest points.
Yeah. No, you don't want to be one of those statistics that people wheel out for fun, do you? I think Derby fans hate it, I imagine. We've got 5 added minutes at the end of this second half. It is still Wolves 3, West Ham 0. And, well, I suppose if it ends 3-0, optimistic West Ham fans will say, well, at least he didn't get a great deal worse in the second half. But is that, Neil, largely because Wolves have not really shown much interest?
Well, they've showed no interest whatsoever. They've had a couple of half chances. To be fair, there's no need to go for the 4th goal. They're 3-0 up. The 4th goal would actually come if West Ham overcommitted themselves.
But they haven't really done that either.
But they haven't actually done that.
No,
I don't think Sars made a save, has he?
No, they haven't had a shot on target, I don't think.
So we played slightly better. No, that's no. I'm not having that.
Don't. You can't spin this.
Don't go there.
Foul on Souček, 35 yards from Wolves' goal.
How are they going to deliver this?
Looks like they want to play it short, but now they're going to wait and allow Fernandes to take it, and they'll send everybody into the box. Now, the last time Ollie Skulls took a free kick from here, it hit the first defender.
Why is he going over there? Don't go over there. He should be pushed on the left-hand side here on the box, unless he's taking it, which he is. Oh my goodness me!
Yeah.
Listen, you work at stuff on the training ground, but then you have to problem solve, don't you? On the pitch.
You're quite annoyed by some of these decisions, Neil.
Yeah, I am, because
Skulls is going to strike this with a left foot.
Fernandes should be taking control of that. Listen, I'm knocking this in. You get over there and get the seconds.
Fernandes' delivery into the box, headed down by Kilman. Here's Souček with his back to goal. Goes down looking for something, doesn't get it. Myers into the box, half cleared. Mavropanos. Oh, Kilman shoots. It takes a deflection. It goes over the top.
Still didn't hit the target with the deflection. I'm sorry.
Yep, let's confirm they've still had no shots on target. Wolves have had 8 apparently, but yes, still West Ham have not had a shot on target in this game. I keep reminding everybody that we said they had to win.
No, they had
to.
Not just because it's Wolves, because there's a gap.
Yeah, absolutely. The opportunity.
The gap is massive.
Here's the corner. Sarr claims it again. He's been really good, hasn't he?
He's been really good with the balls coming in the box. He's took control of the box, actually. Really, really good. Some of the deliveries have been good, some of them haven't. So
absolutely. Myers wins that header on the halfway line. Goes out to Tachura on that right-hand flank for Wolves, who have very carefully and mindfully seen this second half out.
Yeah,
they've not put their scoreline at risk.
The game management's been really good.
The Olays are coming.
Yeah.
Who thought we'd have the Olays?
That's the first time since you said in April, didn't you?
Yeah.
Well, that's the first time they've heard this.
Yeah. I mean, really, West Ham's humiliation is complete. The Wolves fans olaying 3 minutes into added time at the end of the second half.
And still getting absolutely nowhere near the opposition on the ball.
No, they're zipping it around. Wolves, having said that, Mosquera gets in a little bit of difficulty with Somerville, but then goes back to Sarr. Wallops it clear. Strand Larsen's offside.
I'm not so sure when he kicked that he was offside. I am not so sure he was offside before he kicked it. He actually sprinted 3 yards to get onside. And I think the referee's assistant, as we call him now, not linesman, got that wrong.
Well, we were more or less in line with it. You were certainly in line with it. And we played for 4 minutes of added time. Here's Somerville down the left. Gets in a cross that's blocked. Skulls will send a cross into the penalty area. No one can get anywhere near it.
Nobody on the edge.
No one on the edge of the box. And then a foul for a push by Soucek. Yeah. So even when they're being constructive, West Ham, they're still not very good.
Listen, it would be an extra bonus if they get something to hold on to. But really, the performance, apart from the first 2 or 3 minutes, has been absolutely rubbish.
Yeah, they have not really done enough, West Ham. Well, they haven't had a shot on target. If you don't shoot on target, you can't score.
Well, if you don't take a shot, I totally agree. If you don't buy a ticket, you can't win the raffle, can you?
Dear, oh dear, oh dear. It's helped on by Somerville, cleared by Kretzky. Fernandez might get to this loose ball first. No, he won't. Good response by Tachura. Then the ball. The referee has blown his whistle. He has. And Wolverhampton Wanderers win their first Premier League game of the 2025-2026 season. They do so comfortably with room to spare. And they do it against a West Ham team who came here this afternoon looking to build a platform that could have, over the course of the next few days, lifted them out of the Premier League's relegation zone. Instead, a first half collapse of shattering quality occurred with goals after 4 minutes, 29 minutes and 41 minutes from John Arras, Hwang Hee-chan from the penalty spot and Matheus Mane from the edge of the penalty area. West Ham have Alphonse Areola to thank for some marvellous saves from Arakarade, Hugo Bueno and from Mane as well. It could quite easily have been very, very much worse. There were no shots on target. West Ham never really looked like getting back into it. And even though they didn't create any chances in the second half, they didn't let any more goals in the second half, I should say. That's basically because Wolves, as they were entitled to, sat on their lead. We thought this might have been one of West Ham's better days in the Premier League this season. I cannot think of a worse way for them to go into a home game against Nottingham Forest. They have been beaten soundly by the worst team in the country. Wolves 3, West Ham 0.
Total Sport.
BBC Radio London.
First Premier League clean sheet for Wolves since they beat Leicester back in April. First win of the season for Wolverhampton Wanderers in the Premier League. They did win some League Cup games, including against West Ham United. West Ham could have moved to within a point of Nottingham Forest, who they host on Tuesday night, if they'd won that game today. Nottingham Forest beaten 3-1 by Aston Villa, but West Ham United didn't lay a glove, unfortunately, for the Hammers fans and the nearly 3,000 that went up there onto Wolverhampton Wanderers. No shots on target, a XG of 0.25. Wolverhampton Wanderers, despite only having 33% possession, 11 shots, 8 on target. Nick Godwin and Neil McDonald, our commentary team there at Molineux, rocking all over the world. They've not heard that at the Molineux for a while.
No, they haven't.
The last time they heard it was actually in the charts.
Oh wow, Phil, even right at the end, right, I'm not so sure Nuno actually shook the opposition's manager's hand. He just went straight down the tunnel, so I'm not 100% sure of that, but I couldn't see him shaking anybody's hand. He's not on the pitch. I don't think I can see him, so he's absolutely disgusted with his team's performance.
Yeah, I mean, some of the players have gone over to thank the fans, those that have stayed.
Which you do, but I wouldn't imagine it'll be very nice. Oh, well done. Try better next time. It'll be like, get back in the change room quick as you can, and you better get your act together for the next game, because we're all coming to watch you again.
I mean, if there wasn't pressure enough on that game now, Neil, on Tuesday night, Nottingham Forest in town. Forest have a 4-point lead over West Ham, who are on 14 points after is it 14 points? Yeah, 14 points.
Yeah.
After 21 games. Forest, the loser of that game, if it's Forest, they're under pressure. If it's West Ham, the gap to safety just grows and grows and grows. It'd be a minimum of 7 points, and I mean it's almost, you almost look at it and go, that's a 3-game swing. It becomes so critical now. But what would worry the West Ham United faithful was the complete and utter lack of idea, shape, fight, anything in that match.
Well,
I mean, you try to put your finger on anything that you could, any positive.
You could have a longer list than my CV, by the way, and you still wouldn't come up with the right answer right at the start. So the worrying thing for me is this is the 2 games that are coming up. They've just played one, and they haven't dealt with the pressure. They haven't dealt with the situation. So that doesn't bode well for Forest coming up, especially with West Ham's home performance. And then certainly the fans will be, as soon as they give the ball away, as soon as they concede, or as soon as the opposition come into the other half, they'll be very, very nervous. They've seen a team that have not one person has won an individual battle. Not one person has actually stood up to the plate and said, right, come on, let's go. Not one player has stopped the opposition from playing. They've allowed the ball to come into the box. They've allowed Wolves to have a shot, and they're the worst team in the league, by the way. So I think that's the most worrying thing out of all the situation, is they're going to play better teams than Wolves, and yet they couldn't cope with the situation this afternoon.
I mean, sometimes we ask in these circumstances is, what can you take from that? What can Nuno take from that? I mean, the only thing he could take from it is, he'll have to hold some responsibility himself, because he's responsible for setting up the team and sending them out there.
Yes.
But if he could, he'd probably change all 11 players.
Well, you could. Actually, listen, Phil, not one of them, apart from the goalkeeper, even though he's conceded 3 goals, deserves his place for the next game. Now, he could change the whole lot. Now, looking at the bench, he hasn't got much to change, by the way. So. No. And whether he's left players behind and players are injured, are they actually going to come back as quick as what they should do, knowing that they're playing Nottingham Forest next? So there's loads of questions. You've got a centre forward who's just come, didn't even put him on for 10 minutes, by the way. Why don't you put him on? I couldn't actually understand that. Now, the only thing that I'm hanging on to is the shape looked a little bit better. They've had a little bit of width, but then Wolves sat off and invited them to play in front. They hardly got behind. So is that something to hang on to? I'm not 100% sure, to be fair. I'm actually struggling, right, to find an answer for you, because they were that bad from 1 to 11.
Yeah,
they were that bad.
This is your analysis, by the way, on the new signing.
It's a freebie. Let's have a look. Let's see whether the fans are going, my goodness me, that's good. Oh, bloody hell, he's hopeless, by the way. Well, we're not going to find out, are we? Because he's not going to put him on.
You were spot on, Neil. I think, why not have a look? I mean, if he's not, say, if you're worried about his physicality, if you're worried about, would he pick up a soft tissue injury or whatever it might be, because he's flown straight in. Don't even have him on the bench. Bring him, sit him in the stands, wrapped up in a hoodie or whatever. But don't sit him on the bench and give him a whirl.
Listen, 10 minutes, 10, 15. Surely he's come from
Portugal.
Bit, yeah. He's come from Portugal. He's got to be match fit. To be fair, He might not be Premiership fit, but better than a training session. Give him 15-20 minutes. Right, okay, if he... Does he actually speak English? Well, that remains to be seen now.
I mean,
run around,
run
get hold of the ball and go and show everybody what you're capable of in 15 minutes. But at the same time, okay, they put him on. They didn't have much service into the front, so maybe that's why he hasn't put him on, because he doesn't want to say like, well, I put him on. He never even had a kick.
He's ready to start him against Nottingham Forest, Phil. There you are.
There we go. Yeah. Well, they've got to start. I mean, that's going to. Listen, we had quite a lengthy discussion in the office earlier, myself and Andrew, about the state of the Premier League not being the most exciting division at this moment in time. It's an increasingly vocal discussion that's being had around lots and lots of circles. Can we? I mean, we will be there. We'll be live. The event is important. The pressure and the result is going to be absolutely key. But Nuno's West Ham versus Sean Dyche's Nottingham Forest is not going to be one for football purists, I would argue.
Without a shadow of a doubt, because Dyche will come and he'll say to his team, without a shadow of a doubt, we're not here to entertain.
No.
We're here to get points.
Yeah.
Now, we're going to put them under pressure, yes, of course. We're going to try and express ourselves, but we're going to wait for the mistake.
Yeah.
We're going to wait
for
West Ham's defenders to back off, and then you take the shot, because that's what they did today. So, listen, I'm like I said to you before, you're always trying to have the positives, but my goodness me, after that performance, he's got to earn every single penny that he gets from the football club to try and pick a set of players up who've got no confidence whatsoever, who don't believe in what they're trying to do. There's not one person win the individual battle and playing off the front foot and trying to stop the opposition from playing. So he's got a major job over the next 2 or 3 days before the next game comes along, and the only way they're going to stay in the Premiership, right, is to win the home games, is to get the crowd excited, and they're not even doing that, Phil. Sunderland are winning the games, they're in the top half. Leeds are starting to win games at home now, and they've just moved up further up. You know what I mean? So that's a scenario. Yes, okay, it's easy to say, well, you've got to win games. You can't win every single game. You've got to try and pick up a point, get the momentum, get 3 points at home. So that's 4 points. Now you're talking about Wolves, a point at Man U, 3 points against West Ham.
Yeah,
goodness me, their confidence has gone sky high.
Do you know how many home games West Ham have won in the last 13 months, Neil?
Go on then.
4.
Well, that's why.
4.
Is this the third manager they've had in 12 months?
It's the third manager in a season and a half. Yes, since moving on from David Moyes.
That's the reason why. That is
Lopetegui,
the reason
Potter,
why.
And now Nuno.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. He's got to find the answer though. Whether it's change of personnel, whether it's formation, whether he stops playing out from the back, whether he goes long, whether they pick the knockdowns, whether it goes wide and the practice free kicks left, right and centre, because some of the delivery was good, some of it's not. He's got to find the answer, because it's not working at the moment.
No, I mean, can you give West Ham fans listening to this, Neil, any crumbs of comfort?
No, for the first ever time. I've been working for Radio London,
and I will concur. Can I just say, I can concur. You are one of the most positive summarisers, coaches, analysts. That I'm not saying that the others aren't positive, but you are always looking for the positives, Neil. You're always looking for it.
I can't grab on. Honestly, Phil, for the first ever time, I can't grab onto anything. He's got huge problems, by the way. And Nottingham Forest are not going to come and let West Ham off the hook.
Sean Dyche.
Absolutely no chance. It's going to be a really difficult game, tense game. And if it doesn't go to start off with for West Ham, the fans will turn. By the way,
I feel quite bad just thinking about the atmosphere at the stadium on Tuesday, particularly if West Ham don't. There won't be the kind of up and at 'em, rousing chorus of "I'm forever blowing bubbles," and, get into them and all the rest. Given what we've seen today, I just can't imagine that happening. And then if West Ham don't respond, or if Nottingham Forest score early, as I said, I just feel cringy just thinking about what it'll be like. I mean, if I was a West Ham fan, desperate as I would want to be to follow the team and all the rest of it, I think, do I really want to put myself through that on Tuesday?
He has a positive, Nick. He has a positive. I've just thought this, right? Surely they can't be
January sales.
Surely they can't be as bad as what they were today.
No, yeah. Well, there you go.
Forest.
Yeah.
There you go.
So is that something to hang on to?
But the trouble is, it does affect Tuesday. That's what I'm saying. It's wonderful that you've tried to dredge something out there, but it does affect Tuesday night. It will absolutely affect it. And the last thing the West Ham players will want is a crowd who are kind of with their arms folded going, well, you got me better than you were on the other day, because that was embarrassing. I had to go to work on Monday, having lost to the worst team in the country, and that will just, you could just feel it almost palpably at London Stadium on that evening. It's going to be really difficult for West Ham to turn that around.
Yeah,
and that's when you need the players to stand up and be counted and take responsibility, because they actually did not take responsibility for their own performance today, which is a big worry.
It is a big worry. Fans are maybe going to have to obviously get behind their team, and I'm sure they will in numbers.
No, they will, Phil. They will, though, won't they? They will, to begin with, like you said.
You need something to vibe off if you're a fan as well. You need the performance. So the fans will turn up and hopefully, give their team support on the pitch, whatever their feelings are about where the club is at this moment in time. But they have to have a performance from the players that replicates that and gives the fans something to grab onto on Tuesday. It's a massive. It is a phenomenally huge game now for West.
It's a first tackle, first pass, first header, first challenge, first engagement, first whatever you want to do. If you don't win that first thing, it makes it difficult. So come on, stand up. Okay, this wave is gone. Let's get back on the training ground. Let's pick the team. Let's pick the formation. And let's have please have a better performance all round.
Aka, Nick, thank you very much indeed. Let's just move on, maybe some reaction to this later in the programme before 6 o'clock. We're going to bring you the second half of the festive quiz in a moment or two, or a few minutes. Let's quickly check in at the Vitality Stadium. Arsenal taking on Bournemouth. Alan Seabrook.
Yeah, hi Phil. Well, it's a big game this evening, isn't it, for Arsenal, having finished top of the Premier League at the end of 2025. We'll be looking to keep the pressure on the division's high-end performers as they face a Bournemouth side who are a little bit out of sorts at the moment. 10 games without a win, but they did do the double over Arsenal last season. Whilst in contrast, the Gunners have won 11 of these 16 meetings in the top flight, and with Villa beating Forest earlier today and Manchester City not playing until tomorrow, this would be the perfect moment for the Gunners to make a splash on the south coast with a fifth win on the spin that would, for at least 24 hours, leave them 6 points clear at the top.
Alan, thank you very much indeed. We'll check in with Alan before we end this evening as well. 2025 has come to an end. We're 3 days into 2026. We reflect on all sorts of things, good, bad and ugly, during the sporting year. The good may be the way that people behave in a very sporting way. The Great Sportsmanship programme, run by PR Smith, looks to highlight some of those moments. I caught up with Paul a couple of days ago for us to get his top 10 rundown of sportsmanship moments.
Top 10 of sportsmanship moments 2025. Number 10 occurs at the end of a football match between Celtic and a Swiss club called Young Boys, way back in January 2025. After the game, the away fans, as always, are kept in the stadium to let the home fans out safely and keep them segregated and so on. And this young kid, this is on video, and we'll post this on sportsmanship.org, greatsportsmanship.org. There's this kid standing in the Celtic area on his own. There's no one there. And he's looking at all these other fans with all their flags, kind of in admiration, and he just starts to clap them. And one by one, the opposition fans see it. And within minutes, there's probably 5,000 to 6,000 Swiss fans applauding this kid who's now walking towards them and clapping them, and they're clapping him. And it's just beautiful. It's just a moment where rivalry vanished and pure football camaraderie shined. So in 9th place, we're going to go across the World Athletics Championships in Tokyo last September. The 3,000 metre steeplechase qualifier. Not a very sexy event, you might say, but the Belgian runner Tim van de Velde saw his opposition, the Colombian Carlos San Martin, stumbling uncontrollably after smashing into the barrier. Now, you know, the barriers are big chunks of oak, it seems, compared to other barriers that they jump over. So the Belgian runner thought to himself the words, "Why not?" And so at that point he went over, put his arm around the Colombian and helped his rival competitor over the finishing line. Magical moment. Yeah, it is. It's lovely. That's at 9th. Now in 8th place we come across to tennis, and this is brings us to the Paris Open in June, the French Open, should I say, in Paris. And the Spanish sensation, and he really is a sensation, Carlos Alcaraz, you know, he's something else. He's playing the American Ben Shelton. And Shelton hits a great shot that Alcaraz simply can't reach. He just can't get there. But he throws his racket. And the skill of the guy, he throws it the right way so it hits the ball, and the ball just goes over the net and dies a death. So the umpire gives the point to Alcaraz, at which point Alcaraz walks over to the umpire and doesn't make a scene, doesn't do a John McEnroe. He just quietly says, "Ref, that was an illegal shot because I actually let go of the racket when the ball hit them." And the umpire said, "Thank you," and turned the point over. And I just thought, wow, that's unusual. So in 7th place is a beautiful story about players and fans. Actually, this is really a peach of a story. Goalkeeper Brent Stevens was making his professional debut for the club called Jong Genk in the Belgium First Division B on the 13th of April 2025, just a week after the young goalkeeper's father had died. Yeah. So there was a minute's silence before the game for the goalkeeper's father, which a really nice touch. It's unusual to go that distant back, but they did. And after that, every player from the opposition, who were RFC Liège, they came up to the young goalkeeper and shook his hand to show their support to him. Anyways, late in the game, the 21-year-old Belgian keeper saved a penalty. And the opposition fans applauded him. They just roared, and at full time they gestured and they waved at him to come down, and one by one, as many as they could, hugged him. Yeah. I just thought, isn't this fantastic? Have you ever seen anything like that, Phil?
Yeah, it's amazing. I've seen that video as well, and it's really emotional.
Yes.
It's really emotional to see that, you know, just again, it's the human spirit, isn't it?
It's the human spirit, and the video clip of that is on greatsportsmanship.org, so we'll post everything up there as well after. So the 6th place is the F1, Formula One. So cross the Atlantic and head towards Las Vegas, where the Grand Prix, and we see a rare apology in any sport, let alone F1. So this is Brazil's Gabriel Bortoleto collides with the Canadian Lance Stroll, and both drivers are out of the race. It's gone. So after the race, the Brazilian walked over to the Aston Martin hospitality suite and admitted to his error, and he apologised. He said, "First of all, I'd like to apologise to Lance. It was my fault." You know, an apology can be a very honourable thing. I can't remember too many apologies in sport. Can you recall any apologies per se?
It's certainly an honourable thing to do that, isn't it? Really, and just sort of hold your hands up and
it is,
and just say, "Look, my fault, my bad."
Yeah, it's a rare thing. A pal of mine, Johnny Malarkey, if he makes a mistake on the road, he'd pull up beside the driver and he'd roll down the window, and the guy, the opposite car, is fuming and he's got to lamp him. And Johnny goes, "I'd just like to say I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry." And people don't know how to deal with it sometimes, but it's beautiful to watch. It's lovely, yeah. Now we're into the top 5, and we go across to Murrayfield in Scotland, where Tonga played Scotland, and they gave them a thumping, poor old Tonga, 56-0 in the autumn series. At the end of the game, all the players from both sides huddled together, and with their arms around each other, they knelt down on one knee and prayed. Now, I'm not sure if all the Scottish team players are believers or not, but it's an unusual moment. And although rivals on the pitch and beating the living daylights out of it, the Tongans are strong, man, beating the living daylights out of each other, they were kind of united in a moment of prayer, which is really unusual. And I thought to myself, what a great way to pay respect to the culture of the visiting team, to join in with their celebration or their prayer, whatever it is. You know, how cool was that? Okay, into 4th best moment of the year of 2025, best sportsmanship moment. We stay with Scotland, and a Scottish golfer, I really, really like this guy, Bob McIntyre. There's something about this fella. He did something subtle yet magical. He was on the brink of his first major title, the US Open, no less. And he was leader in the clubhouse. He'd done his work. He had the best score, and he sat in the clubhouse and watched the remaining players. Well, American JJ Spawn was right behind him, and on the 18th hole, Spawn sunk a 65-foot putt, not just to level it, but to win it, to take his dream away.
Dream man.
Yeah, end of dream. McIntyre was seen on video clapping the American and saying the word, wow. Now, I thought, how cool is that? McIntyre's parents, by the way, are interesting as well. They fostered children for many years, and when asked if that had any effect on Bob McIntyre's career, he said something wonderful. He said, I think it makes you realise that hitting a white ball around a golf course is not the most important thing, said the successful Ryder Cup player.
Amazing.
Isn't that cool?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Perspective.
Yeah. Okay, here we are, Phil, down to the nitty-gritty. The third best sportsmanship moment of 2025 is the Women's World Rugby Cup 2025, hosted in England, and who went on to win it, so congratulations to the Roses. Earlier in the competition, though, there was something special. There were lots of amazing moments, actually. Great rugby. And exciting stuff, but great sportsmanship as well. And in the semi-final between Canada and New Zealand. Now, Canada, remember, are the underdogs, obviously, playing the Kiwis, and they're only semi-professionals. In fact, they had to crowdfund money to prepare for the tournament and get to the tournament. While the Black Ferns, well, they're 6 times world champions, and they had they have 11-year winning streak. I don't think anybody's got that. An 11-year winning streak in the World Cup. Anyways, that was ended by the Canadian heroines, with a shock 34-19 win. Now, at the end of the game, the Canadian winger, Hogan Rochester, is seen on her knees giving what looks like a small handmade traditional bracelet as a gift to her opposite winger, Kiwi Sorensen McGee, who was sitting on the grass. And as the Canadian discussed elements of the bracelet, they kind of just smiled and chatted, and then after the chat, they both stood up and hugged each other. And it was interesting. It was the commentators noted that there was simply an astonishing level of sportsmanship present in women's rugby. It's the second best moment of sportsmanship 2025. This is extraordinary. Phil, the humility, the respect, the amazing discipline. I can't find the words for this moment. This is South Africa versus Zimbabwe. Playing on day 2. In their test, South Africa's batsman Vian Mulder, he was on 367 runs and not out. 367 runs and not out. Just 33 runs short of Laura's 400 runs against England way back in 2004, which is the record for the most runs in an international test match. So out of respect for the West Indies legend, Mulder, the South African, declared himself, and South Africa's first innings on 6-2-6 for 5, giving up the opportunity of scoring 400 plus runs and becoming a world record holder and history maker. Now, he said afterwards, Vian Mulder, in an interview after the match, he said, hold on, first things first, I thought we got enough and we needed to bowl. And secondly, Brian Lara is a legend. That the West Indian Brian Lara is a legend. Let's be real. He got 400 against England, and for someone of that stature to keep that record is pretty special. The number one moment of the greatest sportsmanship moment of 2025 came from the Women's Euro 2025, which the Lionesses won, beating Spain in a nerve-wracking penalty shootout with good old local girl to us, we're both Hamwell boys, with good old Hamwell lady Chloe Kelly delivering the winning penalty. By the way, you know this coffee shop up in Hamwell opposite the clock tower called Momentum. They've got the whole external wall has a wonderful mural of her painted on it. It's just lovely. So it looks so good. But anyway, a beautiful sportsmanship moment, and there were many, but this one in particular came not from the English team, but from the knockout match between the much fancied Spain and the underdogs Switzerland, who were the hosts for the Euros as well. So incidentally, the Swiss did a great job with the Women's Euro 2025. It had the biggest attendances. It had the biggest fan marches, mixed fans marching together. It had the most goals ever. It was just so exciting. It was wonderful. But back to Spain versus Switzerland knockout game. Spain eventually won 2-0 and the host Switzerland were out. The dream was over. And then this happened. The Swiss team picked up a large banner which said 2 words, "Merci, fans." Thank you, fans. And they walked around the stadium to a standing ovation the whole way around. But meanwhile, the Spanish team assembled themselves in a guard of honour by the tunnel, and they waited for them to go the whole way around the pitch, and then they gave them the ovation as they walked off the pitch. So it was one of those moments, that guard of honour, where the wonderful Swiss hosts, they're out, but they're being applauded off the pitch by the wonderful Spanish team. And just like you see in rugby, as you say, there's that level of respect and warmth for each other. If they were great hosts, there's no doubt about it. And go back to Chloe Kelly in the England team and that coffee shop in Hanwell opposite the clock tower where the Kelly's mural is there. There's also something unique painted in big, beautiful letters across the door of the coffee shop beside Chloe Kelly's mural. And it is these words: kindness is the new superpower. And maybe this should be the motto for 2026.
Totally agree. That's Paul Smith, the Great Sportsmanship programme on Facebook and on various other social media outlets. And if you know a West Ham United fan this evening, I think you need to show them some kindness after what's happened this afternoon. Hopefully get some reaction from Nuno before the end of the programme, plus check in on Arsenal at Bournemouth. But we gave you the first half of our festive quiz. It was nip and tuck between the two teams. What happens? Let's find out, shall we?
Total Sport Live.
BBC Radio London.
We move on to the next round, which is on Charlton Athletics' success and get promoted to the Championship. As I've said, for this phase of the game, it is DAB Digital Radio who goes first. FM goes second. So we welcome Emily and Phil and Lauren back into the game for the first 5 questions. Question number 1 is: how long have Charlton been in League One since they were relegated?
Phil, I'm going to need some help on this one, I think.
How many seasons did they spend in League One, basically?
So they went up in... When did they go back up and came back straight back down again?
Was it like 2019, potentially, that they were...
that they came up, under Lee Bowyer.
But how many seasons did they last in the Championship?
They came straight back down, didn't they? So they came straight back down, and then they were consistently in the Championship. So they didn't... 5? So I'm going to say 5.
Okay.
Is that your final answer?
5. Yeah.
Okay.
5 is correct.
Well done, Phil.
Question number 2. Charlton have played in 4 playoff finals in their history, including a survival playoff. How many have they won?
They've won 3 promotion-based playoff finals, 2 of them against Sunderland, and then 1 against Leyton Orient. And then the survival playoff would have been back in the day, wouldn't it? I think they've won all of them.
Did they survive? Oh, 4 out of 4 then.
Emily, is that your final answer? All of them? All of them is correct.
Well done.
Great stuff. Now, Charlton beat Leyton Orient, of course, in the final. When was the last time that Leyton Orient were in the 2nd tier of English football? It was a while ago, guys, just as a little pointer.
It was the 1970s. I'm sure it's the 70s, wasn't it?
Okay.
I'll give you a year either side because it's so far away.
So what? 50, 55, 55 years?
I just need a year from you. So 19, whatever, and I'll give you a year either side because it's so long.
Oh, okay. Go on, Phil. What do you reckon?
I think if it was later than that though, more maybe in the 80s. I'm going to say 78, 79.
78 or 79. Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Skip.
I'm afraid it's 82.
Unlucky.
Very close. Very, very close. The question number 4. The Charlton goal scorer, Macaulay Gillespie, spent 2 years playing in Australia. Which major Australian city did he play in?
Brisbane. I don't know. I'm just naming Australian cities.
Or Sydney.
Melbourne are also pretty big.
Yeah, true.
Brisbane FC. I'm just
Brisbane Roar. Is it Brisbane Roar, isn't it?
Brisbane Roar.
And then you've got Perth Glory.
Can I have an answer?
I'd just pick a city. I can't remember. I would be tempted to go Melbourne, but that's just because it's the first thing that popped into my head.
You've gone
Is
through
one of
loads of
those
cities.
cities
You
correct?
have named the correct city during the course of this conversation.
Oh, goodness me.
So it's either Brisbane, Perth, Melbourne.
Back in your box, Andy.
Lauren, what did you say, Brisbane?
I said Brisbane because that's the first city that came to my mind. I
let's
don't
do
have any
Go on, then.
maps behind it.
Let's do Brisbane. Brisbane, final answer.
It is Brisbane, remarkably.
Oh,
yes,
the Brisbane
well done,
Roar.
Lauren.
The Brisbane Roar.
Signed by Robbie Fowler.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
There you go. There you go. No wonder Andy was getting antsy. He knew the answer. And question number 5. Charlton lost 1 of their last 11 games of the regular league season. Who was it against?
Wrexham.
Final answer?
Oh, yes. You've made me say that name on it.
Phil knows this one.
Final answer.
Correct.
Thank you for choosing to listen to BBC Radio on the internet. Unfortunately, the current programme on this station is unavailable. This is either due to contractual reasons or a temporary technical fault. Please try again later.